Follow the instructions to verify your account.
So, ladies and gentlemen, here we are. We have gathered a group of the Nerd Trust. We have gathered some of the most trustworthy nerds I've known in my life to discuss a topic that is controversial, to discuss something that is got a whole generation of fans split on whether it's good or whether it's terrible, terrible shit. And today we have come together to determine once and for all where the fandom of Star Wars lies in the grand scheme of things. Have they gone in a good direction? Have they gone into bad? Is Disney the new savior or is Disney the devil? Today, we'll figure all those things out. And to help me do it, we've got a great panel and our friend the Frizzly Bear.
Hello.
And, of course, you should know him, the Anime J.
Hi.
And then, over Robot, R2-D2, coming in from a long way away, our good buddy, the Rare Behemoth, otherwise known as Dan.
Hello.
So now we will begin our discussion by discussing, well, the more recent movies. So to talk about the more recent movies, let's just go ahead and get it off our chest. What do you think about the most recent movies? We will start with you, Dan. What did you think about the most recent trilogy?
I gotta be honest, I'm split kind of right down the middle about all of them as like a whole. I feel like the quality output in terms of the new movies is pretty 50-50, whether or not you're talking about just the new trilogy or if we include Solo and Rogue One in there. I thought The Force Awakens was really fun, like not amazing, but like really fun. It felt like old Star Wars again. I thought The Last Jedi was trying to do some interesting new ideas, but its execution was troubled, to put it charitably. And personally, in my opinion, The Rise of Skywalker is a fucking dumpster fire of pandering.
Oh, wow. Oh, wow, really?
Yeah, I absolutely hate that movie.
I'm with Dan on that. I dislike Rise of the Skywalker so much.
And see, I find it funny because when me and Jay went to go see it, we actually walked out and we were like, that was a pretty good movie. Like, it definitely felt like it was 3 movies shoved into one, but it was a good movie.
So that aspect of it, I felt immediately like really bad pacing was just like distracting. It was like somebody viciously jangling keys in my face, like Star Wars. Fucking Star Wars, don't you love it? Look at all the Star Wars. And I'm like, hey, but you just said something weird. No, there's no time. Look at the X-Wing. Zoom. But at the end of it, when I first finished it, I was like, all right, I'm entertained. Like, that wasn't really good, but I'm entertained, I guess. But The more I thought about it, the more upset it made me. Like, it was like both in the moment, but additionally, as I kept thinking about it, it just felt like J.J. Abrams going, nuh-uh, Rian Johnson, nuh-uh, the Force works this way. The Force is dynastic.
So basically you think it was like the whole, and admittedly there is a lot of that in the movie, like a lot of the J.J. Abrams saying like, well, no, this thing from the last movie doesn't matter. Like, focus on what I'm doing now. Yeah.
Like, The Last Jedi, when I first watched that, like the first go around I watched it, there was some stuff in it where I was like, there were some really high highs, there were some really low lows. Like, I hate Canto Bight. It feels like they didn't know what the hell to do with Finn, so they just kind of shoved him off in a side story that doesn't really matter.
Absolutely.
Benicio del Toro is there with a stutter for some fucking reason, I guess.
Yeah.
But, like, I thought it had really interesting ideas about, like, the Force and the idea that the movie was going to say, hey, maybe neither of us should really be Sith or Jedi in like the classic sense, and I liked the idea of Luke Skywalker not being just Yoda again, but Mark Hamill.
Right.
Like it was interesting. It challenged the assumptions that a lot of people have about like the way the Jedi work and where you thought the story would go after the original trilogy all those years ago. When you're a kid.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that's cool. There's still things I hate in that movie, but, those are interesting ideas. But then The Force Awakens comes in and basically says, none of that shit matters anymore. All those cool ideas, they don't matter. So I'm just like, so now when I rewatch it, I can't help but feel like, oh, well, all of the cool, interesting ideas don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
So I'm just left with the dumb shit.
Yeah.
Now it's all just dumb shit. Like, it doesn't retroactively make me feel like The Last Jedi is a worse movie, but it sort of makes it not matter as much anymore. And the alternative is I have to basically be one of those obstinate fans who just decides, well, the Rise of Skywalker didn't happen. That's my headcanon.
Yeah.
Which feels equally stupid.
Well, so when it comes to like the characters, then, so how do you feel about that? How do you feel about Rey Finn Poe?
I thought they were all really charming. Like, if you know, when I watched the first movie and like even on rewatch, they all come off as really charming and having like good chemistry together. Those rare occasions that they are together.
Yeah.
And like I wanted to get to know them more. I was like, cool. I'm excited about 2 more movies with these 3 characters. Let's go. Yeah. And I would say that the characters stay likable, but it really feels like after movie 1, it feels like neither Rian Johnson nor J.J. Abrams on the second pass really had any idea what they wanted to do with Finn. Like,
yeah,
he's just kind of there. He's always girl.
Yeah.
I guess for some reason it's not allowed to be Rey. So we're just going to have these other girls here, but also nothing happened there. And what did they talk about? They was going to tell Rey when they were about to die.
Oh, yeah.
Was, I'm a
force
Jedi
sensitive.
too. It's like, but that doesn't happen. Like they just say those things. So Finn is just there.
Yeah.
Really becomes like full on. He never really fully buys into the whole resistance thing. He never actually ends up in a relationship with any of his love interests, air quotes there, and he never becomes a Jedi. So it's like,
well,
wow, John Boyega, you really got the short end of the stick there. I feel kind of bad because and Poe's kind of similar. It just feels like they never really go deep with his character in any direction.
Now, see, I don't with Poe's character. Yeah, as I say, with Poe's character, one of the things that came out was just not liking Poe's character at all, because literally they in the first movie they like talk about how he's supposed to be such a good pilot and everything, and you know BB-8 belongs to him in like the first movie, and then all of a sudden he you know he's not really in the first movie much. Comes back in The Last Jedi. The Last Jedi, all he literally does is complain and whine about how he should be the one leading and that she was just leading, and he just whines the second movie. And in the third movie, they try to make him like an interesting, like Han Solo-ish character because he's supposed to be the bad boy rebel, and then it still really doesn't translate well because it's just like, but you haven't done anything to prove you're a badass. Why should we care?
Yeah. I mean,
but he's a spice runner.
Piloting moments. It's like that's kind of.
Yeah, like, so Pat, like, what do you think of the character of Poe? Like, did you actually like him?
I wanted to like Poe, and as Dan said, like, I liked all the characters in the Force Awakens. You're like, oh, all these people seem really cool. I want to see them do things together.
Right.
And then they don't. Yeah. And to me, it's kind of like you took the pilot part of Luke and was like, okay, that's going to be a character, but we don't have anything to do with him. We just had the idea of making that a character. And that, like, all the characters feel like that. Finn feels like Han Solo's backstory again. And and then Rey is Luke and Leia combined into a single person.
Yeah.
Yeah, it felt like The Force Awakens ended on this promise of, in the next movie, you know, maybe Poe and Finn are going to go have their adventure while Rey's doing, like, Jedi training, but presumably they'll meet up at some point later, maybe the second or third act, and then they'll start doing stuff together.
Right.
That never happened. Like they do see each other, but, like, there's no scenes of them, like, being together and interacting.
Yeah.
And in The Force Awakens, we do have more of them, like, technically they're together, but it's like the story is in such a rush to get through itself that there's not a whole lot of interaction.
Right.
And it just feels like potential unfulfilled with their characters.
Oh, absolutely. That is the.
I mean, that's the trilogy.
That is the trilogy. Potential unfulfilled. Like Rey's character, she just ends up being such a blank slate for me because literally the first movie tries to lead you up to think that she's special. Then the second movie is like, no, fuck her. She's not special at all. in the third movie starts filleting her again. So it's like it's hard to pick like a read on her.
I really liked how the Jedi, though, the Last Jedi was like, no, she's not related to anybody. Like, she's just her. And I liked that messaging of, you know, a hero can come from anywhere. Like, that's what, like, that's one of the things that was really cool and really impactful about Into the Spider-Verse. Like, Miles Morales, like, the message of the movie is anybody can be a hero.
Right.
Like, you know, if circumstances are right and if you choose to rise to the opportunity, anybody can be a hero.
Yeah,
you know, you can save
to kind
yourself.
of build
and
on that, like they actually had like a bunch of kids becoming force sensitive in that movie. And it's like, okay, so there's going to be a thing. Like, it's not just no one's special. It's just okay, there are people that are waking up to this power.
Yeah.
Not that nobody's special, but more just this break of you don't have to be related to somebody to be important.
Yeah, you don't have to be a Skywalker.
Exactly. But then again, hard swerve. The Rise of Skywalker comes in and says, "No, Rey's not nobody. She's a Palpatine."
Yeah.
Which, you know,
so
is such a hard swerve.
Yeah, so it makes it seem like only certain bloodlines have any kind of real significance whatsoever.
Yeah, exactly. It kind of smacks of a, you know, like, not that I want to like say that this is like the intention of the writer or the director, but it smacks of like a master race mindset that only people who are descended from other people matter and have like significance or power and ability, and it's like that's bullshit in real life, and it's kind of more insidious in fantasy.
Yeah. Well, see, and I get that, because I would say that one thing I did think about the Rise of Skywalker is that while I thought it was good, I also thought it was just really good fan fiction. And why I say that is because the whole bringing in of Palpatine, like in the last act, out of nowhere, it just really seemed like J.J. Abrams just really being like, oh man, I'm gonna write this awesome fanfic like when he was like 16, and then all of a sudden he found it and decided to expand upon it. And one of the things that really did bother me too was like the one of the coolest parts that they should have put in the movie is in the title scroll where they talk about a voice just reached across the whole galaxy. And it was like, what was it, in the Fortnite event?
Yeah, I'm about to say, you're saying it's cool. It's Fortnite. It's not cool.
I know, but it was like, they put it in a Fortnite event. But that should have been in the movie. That would have been awesome.
Yeah, you're right. It should have been.
Like that should have been in the movie, and they put it in a freaking Fortnite event. Like, it's insane.
I hate Star Wars.
Yeah, it's the goofiest shit to me when they did that. And
no, it was really dumb.
It was really dumb. And
it's so much worse than those times when you're playing a video game and, like, you know, there's like a 10-page PDF novella or like a movie or a trailer that you should watch before you boot up the game. Like, I'm already not really a fan of that. Like, whatever. But like, if you're putting like a story element that kind of fucking matters in a temporary event in like a game that's like, it's not a Star Wars game. It's like, no, please play this other game.
Yeah.
And like, it wasn't even advertised. That was the other thing, is like, I'm both into Star Wars and video games, and like, at no point did whatever marketing algorithms Disney is paying for ever say, hey, you should probably play Fortnite.
Yeah.
Because, you know, Star Wars. Like, that never happened.
Yeah, no, because it was marketed to completely the wrong crowd. It was marketed to people who already play Fortnite, so it's like, I mean...
To be fair, everyone plays Fortnite.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, sure they do.
Air quotes, everyone.
Yeah, everyone.
Not to say that there's, like, not probably a pretty significant overlap between people who play Fortnite and then will also go see Star Wars.
Yeah.
Sure. Maybe don't excise something that's going to be mentioned in the opening title crawl of the main numbered entry in the saga into an event game.
I did.
Like,
I audibly laughed in the theater when I saw that because I knew what it was talking about. I just went, Fortnite.
Yeah, I found that out afterwards. I got so mad. I was like shaking, upset.
Because it's so dumb. Like, why is that where you would exclusively launch that clip and everything? It is the dumbest. Like, I don't understand. I really don't. Sorry for all those computer sounds people, but yeah.
Don't apologize to them. They can deal with it.
Yeah, they're gonna deal with it.
I mean, he needs to update his fucking computer.
Shut up. But
change the color settings.
See, I am gonna give you shit if that's why.
No, that's not why.
Facebook notifications, which might be worse.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Fair,
so
Facebook notifications about your wife.
Yeah. But so one thing I do want to say is that the new trilogies get a lot of crap.
Sorry.
And one of the things I want to check, do you think the new trilogies get a lot of crap because of the extended universe? So many people fell in love with so many different things from the Legends universe, the extended universe, that they were hoping that, you know, Luke would go on to do new things, that, you know, Han would go on to do new things, and then you get introduced to all these new characters, and then like literally every movie spends time. Jay, what the fuck?
No, she was asking. She said, Dad was wondering if you guys were ready to record. That's why I was like, someone needs to respond to this.
Yeah.
Or else she's going to keep pinging us.
Yeah.
Jay, what the fuck?
Yeah, fuck you.
To be fair, you did do it.
You're right.
My fault.
I was fixing shit.
It's all good.
Indirectly, that interruption's my fault. Okay. So are people mad because they didn't get their EU wishes?
Well, and one of the reasons I say that is because, you know...
That sounds really dismissive. I don't mean for that to sound that dismissive. I mean, I kind of do and I don't. I definitely think that's part of it. I definitely think part of it is that there's all these, you know, some of them really high quality, but there's all these other stories that are like, here's exactly what happened after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
And it stretches out like for... I'm trying to remember how long those novels go. I think Extended Universe goes for like 100 years out. But I mean, you know, but for Luke, it goes like, what's that, like 30 years out from there? Like it gets to like old man.
I'm gonna say you get to his kids and his kids' kids.
Yeah, you go to so.
Exactly. And you know, and some of those were really good, like the Timothy Zahn novels and things like that. Like people talk those up, you know, like really big. I'm ashamed to say I haven't gotten around to reading them yet, but you know. I don't think that many people would collectively lie about a novel series being good.
Right.
You know, now I'm sure there is like that disappointment of oh no, those stories, you know, aren't canon anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not going to have my fan wish fulfilled of seeing that stuff on the big screen, which would be pretty cool, admittedly, especially for those people who are really passionate about it. But for the people who are like, these movies are bad because they're not what I used to get told happened later, I think that's really stupid and childish. That's not how that works. Like, you know, it's fair to be disappointed that you didn't get the movie of your novelization, but also at the same time, like, of course you're not. Like,
right. Right.
But I think the only valid criticisms you can have about the quality of the new movies have to do with, are the new movies good or bad? And that has to be with, how is it as a movie? Like, does it brazenly and terribly conflict with things that are really important and core to like how Star Wars is as like a fantasy setting? Or like, does it break rules that are like explicitly stated to you in the main movies? Like,
well, see, but those movies contradict each other's rules all the time. That's the problem.
They really do. That's sort of the problem, is that George broke his own rules. Not even just like before even the prequels. He in very small ways contradicted himself in the original trilogy. Yeah. So I mean, a little forgiveness is given there, but I think the only thing that like really jumped out and like really grabbed me, where I'm like, that's not how it works, is when in the beginning of Rise of Skywalker, Poe's doing the, what do they call it, hyper skipping, light skipping?
Oh yeah,
you know, those really fast jumps through hyperspace.
Yeah.
Where, you know, I try to leave like hard I say air quotes, hard science here aside when I watch Star Wars, because Star Wars is a fantasy setting. It just is.
Yeah.
But when he's doing his jumps, and every single one is through like a nebula, asteroid field, or the surface of the planet, I'm like, space is pretty fucking empty, my dude. Like, chances are really good if you roll the dice on where you're going to pop out of hyperspace at random, it's probably just going to be empty fucking space.
Yeah.
But additionally, I don't buy that you can jump to light speed off and on that fucking fast when, you know, Han Solo in the first half of the first Star Wars movie tells me jumping through hyperspace ain't like dusting crops, boy.
Yeah.
Like, you know, and that there's all these calculations that have to go into it to, like, not just, like, smack your ship into the interior of a planet at
right
above light speed. I'm just like, come on. Like, this is a set piece, and in my opinion, it's like, considering how much story they were trying to cram into that movie, I'm like, this is like 30 seconds of screen time that could be better spent elsewhere. But
So, like,
what we're talking about, reasons why people were upset.
Yeah.
I think people being upset at like writing or acting or pacing problems, like to me, those are the legitimate complaints to have.
Yeah.
Is how was the story delivered to you, and was the story effective at making you feel the way it wanted to make you feel? And certainly, I think as the 3 movies went on, they did not.
Yeah, because I was gonna say I fall into that group that didn't like The Last Jedi. But the reason why I didn't like The Last Jedi wasn't because I saw a huge like portion of the fan base basically be like, oh, but Luke didn't do anything in the movie, and he kind of went out like uselessly and stuff like that. And I'm like, that's not why I hated the movie.
Literally not what happened.
Right? Yeah. But everybody makes such a big deal about Luke and the way he went out, and in a way I get that, because Luke was the main focus of the original trilogy. That's who people grew up with. That's who they idolized, and that's really who they wanted to see what happened to in the new trilogy. And then the first movie that you get with him fully in it, and he just makes a grand sacrifice. And I get why people would be upset with that, but to me there were so many other things wrong with The Last Jedi that was just kind of like, oh, that was pretty baller what Luke did at the end of me. It was like, that kind of pulled the movie back.
It's wrong. Like, it might have felt unsatisfying to those people who wanted to see more of him, but at the same time, when people are like, no, he's dead, I'm like, this is Star Wars. He's going to be a Force kid.
Yeah, definitely.
He goes at like a champ, in my opinion.
I'm about to say, I think the reveal that, oh, hey, he was never there on Crate, and that's like, whoa, that's the most badass thing. Yeah. Like, he chumped all these people out without even being there.
Yeah. Well, and also, somebody pointed out that not somebody pointed out. I figured this out in the second watch, was that it's actually even foreshadowed that he dies, because there's a moment where Kylo and Rey have their first like Force conversation, where they call it a Force dyad or whatever.
Yeah.
They talk to each other, and Ben basically says something like, "How are you doing this? You can't. The effort would kill you."
Yeah.
So that idea of like,
projecting yourself.
Projection, I guess, in this way, but like Force projection the effort would kill Rey, and it does kill Luke, like, because that's what he ends up doing. But additionally, I think this is the thing that was pointed out to me. Somebody put together this amazing GIF where, in The Last Jedi, Rey is doing her like training thing on the seaside, and she's swinging the lightsaber around at this rock.
Yeah.
And they intercut it with the footage of Kylo trying to hit Luke, and it's the exact same swings.
Right.
Like,
yeah.
The forms she's going through are the exact same forms that Kylo uses later in the movie.
Yeah, I did see like a GIF of that going around. That was pretty cool. Like,
so that's why, like, to me, The Last Jedi is such a mixed bag. Is because like there's these really interesting little moments there, and things you can find on a repeat watch that seem like really deep and really good, and really thoughtful. And then there's a fat lady alien in a casino that screams because it's not over till the fat lady sings.
Yeah, it just would have been so much better if either JJ or Rain had directed the whole trilogy rather than trading off like they did. That just ruined it, because they had 2 completely different directions that they wanted to go in.
Yeah. And it's pretty shocking too, because I mean, they make the Marvel franchise.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I know they get a variety of directors to work on that, of course, but they do have somebody at the top of that who's like orchestrating the whole thing and like picking their directors and so forth. And
well, not like that, but you would think that they'd have like a script put together, like at least a general idea for the trilogy, like especially because it's got fucking 30, 40 years of canon. It's like, okay, so there's a massive fan base. You think they would think ahead.
I mean, even in respect for that, you'd still think they would come at it, with you make a trilogy, let's have at least a rough outline of all the core events that are going to happen in these 3 films. It just really comes across like that's not what happened. It seems pretty clear that there were lots of last-minute changes, and I think it's really, really obvious in Rise of Skywalker, especially, like, it seems really, really apparent that Palpatine was, like, an 11th hour edition, and it also comes across, like, and this is, like, this weird thing that shouldn't be a sign about the troubles that the development of the movie went through, but there's almost no merchandise in stores for The Rise of Skywalker.
Oh yeah,
not none, but even like when Solo came out, there was so much merchandise in stores for that movie. You know, and then for Rise of Skywalker, it's like there's a few Lego kits. I guess here's a couple of action figures.
Yeah,
and like that's it. And I almost wonder if it was Disney thinking that Rise of Skywalker was gonna bomb, so they didn't want to sink too much money into producing merchandise for it,
right.
Like for one. But then for two, I think that there were so many last minute changes. I bet you
that
they had to not ship because it was going to be like, sir, not appearing in this film, you know, the action figure.
Yeah, I think the Rise of Skywalker, I mean, it really does seem so very rushed. Like, it's literally JJ, at the minimum, trying to smack together two movies. Like, one of the things that me and Jay, like, talked about when we left the movie is that the part where, if they wanted to even shove Palpatine in this trilogy, the part where Palpatine literally uses Force lightning and wipes out the whole fleet, that should have been the end of a movie. That should have been the end of the second movie, leading into a whole third act.
And that would have had some fucking straight up the Emperor vibes.
Like,
legit. Like that would have been a good dark way to end a movie. But to kind of go to the Palpatine thing, it's interesting that they did that. I don't have an issue with them bringing it back because in Legends he came back. Like, he did a thing where he cloned himself. That's a thing. Like, I can understand. It's just, you're right. It felt shoved in. If it was fleshed out more, like,
I mean, had there been more groundwork set up earlier?
Well, yeah, like easy way to do it. Snoke dies. Why not immediately go to a fucking thing? It was like, oh, well, Palpatine's actually pulling this. You just cut to him, like, laughing in the background or something. But something to tie it together.
Well, no, but that did happen, Jay. It happened in Fortnite.
Oh,
well, no, Star Wars property.
Snoke is even a perfect example. Like, you didn't have to bring the Emperor back. You had this new mysterious bad guy you could have built up, and like,
that's true.
He's now relegated to comics.
I mean, not only that, but the Star Wars theories going into what Jedi was, everybody was like, oh, he's from like the outer limit or the inner limit or whatever. Like, he's like outer rim. Like, he's been living this entire time. That's the reason why he's got so much like power, and that's why he's so strong. He just shows up as like out of fucking nowhere to fill that power vacuum that the Emperor left.
But then he just goes out so easily in the second movie that I was just like, that was anticlimactic.
But see,
it just felt so anticlimactic when he died.
I thought it was cool. Like, his story is anticlimactic. That scene was cool. And its payoff was, now Kylo Ren's in charge. And then the new movie comes in and they instantly undercut that. It's the first thing they do. He's not in charge, actually.
So, two things here. I think one being the fact that, and we'll get into this, but Kylo Ren is so fucking lame. Like, he is just so fucking lame. He is the lamest. You're gonna have to go on Kylo's Defense Squad, but also second, the fact that they brought in Palpatine means he is the big bad in all three trilogies, and they had a chance to remedy that, and they decided to make him the big bad in all three trilogies. They're literally saying that nothing else is a threat to the galaxy except for fucking Emperor Palpatine.
Yeah.
Well, it starts
like,
being.
I hate out of the would go. Mike Sokoska would always go, Palpatine's behind it all. Like, that literally. When I was watching Rise of Skywalker, I was like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, exactly.
It kind of recontextualizes the whole 9 movies too. It's almost less about Skywalker because of this last movie than it is about Palpatine.
It's all about Palpatine. It's literally it's literally 9 movies dedicated to taking out this one threat. That's all it is now. Now, is that what? Repeat that. You got cut out.
No, I was just saying it's so dumb. Like, I mean, now, I think the original idea they were going to go with for the final movie was that then, Kylo Ren was going to be the big bad. Like, he's going to be the guy. Like, maybe he'll still get the, 11th hour redemption when he's dying, like Vader did, but, he's going to die.
Yeah.
But I think they backed down on that because they wanted to still have the Kylo Ren redemption, because it kind of felt like they were building towards that for 2 whole movies. Like, maybe he'll become good again. You know, and like, it was satisfying to have his redemption scene, I guess.
We'll see.
In the middle of a bad movie. But in that light, like, if you're still going to have him be redeemed, and if you're not going to leave him your primary antagonist for your 3rd film in the new trilogy, like, well, who do you bring back? Or what do you do? Because Snoke is dead. And, I mean, I'm sort of surprised they didn't just go ahead and go with, well, that was a Snoke clone. Here's Snoke again. Because it's apparently perfectly fine to say, well, there's just clones of these guys. You see them floating around in a vat. Same with Palpatine. Like, oh, Palpatine's a clone, I guess. Because I will not accept the idea that he survived getting thrown down an elevator shaft in a space station, exploding into blue fire, and then said space station that he was on exploding. Like, he's just not.
He got
not good with that.
Yeah, double
But so it's like, what do you do as a writer? Like, who's your new primary antagonist if you're not going to let it be Kylo Ren?
Jar Jar Binks.
That would have been better.
No.
It is I, Darth Binks.
So, I mean, yeah. So it's like, from the one side, it's like, I can see why you'd want to be like Palpatine again. People have heard of Palpatine before. It doesn't feel quite as weak as just going nuh-uh about Snoke dying. But I mean, again, they did nuh-uh about fucking everything else in that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, I can see why they landed on Palpatine, but I think it just would have been way stronger to just stick with, nope, Kylo Ren's not going to be redeemed. He's bad, or like, he does, but at the very end, like when he dies anyway. And that's still kind of what happened in this final version. Like, he does become good. He fights a little bit. He fights against Palpatine. He saves Rey, and then he dies. Yeah. Because he can't live. Like, he's a fucking war criminal. Yeah. Like, he murdered his dad and, you know, killed tons of other good people indiscriminately.
At least he got the girl at the end.
Oh my god.
That was the thing that drove me insane. It's like, why did they kiss? I thought they were more like brother and sister, like the way they're trained. I never got a romantic vibe from them.
Romance is the dumbest thing ever. And it's the dumbest thing.
You could read it as romantic tension, but it's...
I never once got that, like, at all. Like, literally, like, they kissed, and I was like, oh, that's a thing? Maybe that's the reason why I'm single.
Well, I think this new trilogy in general is just so sexless. Like, no... They will hint at chemistry between characters.
And then ruin it in the next movie.
Yeah, but never follow through to a level where it's like, oh, they're in a relationship. Like, you never get that with any of the characters. Like, at best, Poe looks at that girl who never takes her helmet off and kind of gives her the, hey, want to smash? And she's like, nah, and that's it.
And that's like I said, that's one of the reasons why I didn't like The Last Jedi, because literally, and people made fun of the fact that, you know, all 3 movies, Finn spends all his time going, Rey, Rey, Rey. And granted, he does that in the first movie, but in the first movie, it's like, oh, you're my friend. You're like the first person who ever, like, you know, helps me
as a person.
Yeah, acknowledge me as a person, not just a soldier who's disposable.
He was just a number. Yeah. And so, she helped give him his name.
Exactly. And then he's like with her, and
he should have ended up with Poe, if I'm honest, but...
I mean, well, yeah, but it's
or
just
anybody. How about anybody? He ends up with anybody as opposed to all these options, but no one.
Well, I know a lot of people make fun of the fact that she's barely in the 3rd movie, but that chick from the 2nd movie, I hated their whole romance. It seemed so forced and useless. And it was just like, what is this character? She doesn't need to be in it.
I feel so bad for the actress, though. Like,
agreed.
I'm not one of those people who are like, Rose is an amazing character. Like, I'm not, but that's mostly due to the writing, not like her as an actor or her acting that she did.
Yeah, seeing her in other things, she's actually a good actress.
Well, but then, like she pops up for what, like a minute and a half, like total in Rise of Skywalker. It's like,
well, they had that great scene with Leia. It's like, you should come with us. It's like, no, I'm gonna hang out here and hang out, help. But you should come. No, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, apparently she even shot scenes where a bit where they charge across the top of the Star Destroyer. Apparently she did like days of shooting on the top of that set and like banging up her legs from like running and then diving into cover for the action scenes.
Yeah.
Just fucking using none of it.
Well,
They did her dirty. I feel bad for her.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel bad for the actors, but like I said, it's just at the end of The Force Awakens, I had a lot of hope for what was going to come for the next two movies, because even though like a lot of people were like but it was just like a remake of the first movie. Yeah, but it was a more action-packed remake version of the first movie, and you introduce all these new characters, and you get storylines. You get Rey going from literally being nothing to being a Jedi, just like Luke did in the first movie, and you get Finn going from being a nameless soldier to getting a name, being a coward, into like picking up that lightsaber and realizing he has to fight.
Yeah,
and you get
had
all
one
this
of the best fights in the whole fucking movie when he fought against the freaking Schrader, the guy. Yeah, that was fucking awesome. Hell yeah, get it, man.
And then in the very beginning of The Last Jedi, Rey is training with Luke, and it's like cool. And then Finn is a coward again, trying to escape from everything. And it's like, wait, why did his character become a coward again after he realized that he needed to be a man and fight? Yeah. It just starts stripping away stuff from the characters literally as the movies go on.
To keep going on, like they built Poe up to be awesome in the first one. He didn't do anything. He didn't do a damn thing in the first one besides, hey man, that jacket looks good on you. You should keep it.
Yeah.
Deuces. Second movie, I'm a piece of shit. Hi guys, I'm a piece of shit. I should be in charge. You're a dumbass. Everything's dumb. Oh shit, she's dead. Oh shit, Leia can breathe in space. Fuck everything. I'm a piece of shit.
Yeah, and that's kind of why Poe's character just falls so flat. It's like it's so useless.
I dislike Poe the most out of every character.
Oh yeah, easily.
Probably.
That's fair.
I was gonna say I might even go as far as I like him least out of any character in Star Wars movies. Ooh, but I take that back because I dislike the guy.
Remember the prequels?
No. Because what's the one where they were getting the plans to blow up the Death Star?
Oh, Rogue One.
Rogue One. I dislike most of the main characters.
I disagree wholly.
I think the pilot dude in that movie was just a prick. And I was like, you really serve no, like, you're weird.
You're going to hate that Disney Plus has a series coming out based on him.
That's fine. And I'll watch it.
Just on him?
And, I'll watch it because so far Disney Plus has won me over. Yeah. Like, if they do something good with it, my opinion may change. I'm just saying, I didn't like that movie very much.
Yeah. I would very much like if they were able to right the ship there and, like, tell a story in that time period with those characters that was actually good. Like, as much as I didn't like Rogue One, I'd be on board for them doing something good with those characters.
Okay. All right, so to hit one last topic on the new trilogies. So Kylo Ren, as himself, I personally think that he was half of a whole character. Like, they really tried in the first movie to make him seem threatening. And then by the second movie, it was just like... Because, at the first movie, you get that definitive scene of him being, like, conflicted. I don't know what to do. I don't know whether to be good or evil. And then he finally just kills Han, and he's like, full dark side. That's what I'm going to be. And then in the second movie, he's like 50-50 again. And it's like, I thought you made up your damn mind. Like, what the hell? Why? Like, you literally made one of the ultimate sacrifices in killing your father, who was there to save you and tell you he loves you. And then
everybody killed their dad before their mom.
Yeah.
Mom's still there.
Yeah. It just seems
I'll give you that, though. Like, wasteful. It feels like that should solidify it more.
Yeah.
I'll give you that.
Because otherwise it seems like Han death meant nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, with him being conflicted.
Not nothing, but...
I mean, far less. Because, I mean, even... I understand it's because Carrie Fisher died. May she rest in peace. But, like, the way they kind of handled her death in the third movie, basically dying of a broken heart almost, like,
I mean, but, what else were they going to do? I mean, they had to go with, like, B-roll footage for the stuff they shot for the first two movies.
So she had to go out the same way her mom did with a broken heart? Come on.
No, she doesn't die with a broken heart. It's more like force projection. She reaches out through the Force to Kylo, which is what causes him to become good. Then she fades
because it was supposed to be her that showed up instead of Han. It was supposed to be her that showed up instead of Han, but she passed. So, but it just really seems like she just died of a broken heart the way they shoot it in the movie. And I know it's supposed to be that she like, I guess, projected her emotions or some shit. But
I mean, that's not the way I read it. I read it. She went like Luke. Like, it was a force projection. Right. She's not as powerful, so she can't full body appear.
Yeah.
So I just read it. She was able to do what she did put her feelings out there through the force.
Yeah, but I think it's supposed to be that she brought Han back.
Wasn't she like lying down in bed already when she did that?
Yeah, because she.
Like, let me lay down because I don't want somebody to find me on the floor.
Yeah, because like if I remember the scene right, she was like working on a ship, and all of a sudden she stops, stands up, and then walks over to like a bed and just lays down, and then it happens.
Yeah.
So like. And like I said, it's Kylo's whole character of being 50-50 throughout the whole thing. At the end of the first movie, deciding to go dark side, and then randomly trying to redeem himself at the end of the third movie. But at no point is he ever the big bad. At no point, huh?
No, I was just gonna say that, like, honestly, like, as I'll give you that it can feel frustrating, like that he kind of seems like he's like waffling like the whole time up until like the third act of the final movie out of the three. But at the same time, I think his redemption arc was kind of the only bit that, like, at the end of the day, like, I can be like, I actually really enjoyed this like narrative arc that happened in this movie, because otherwise I just kind of hate all of it.
I mean, that's because he's the only person who actually had an arc.
Yeah,
correct.
Amen.
Correct.
Amen.
Adam Driver needs a back massage after carrying that trilogy.
Oh yeah. But see that, and there you go. Like, you could have made the whole trilogy about Kylo Ren's character, follow him, but they try to do the whole thing that they did with the prequels, where it focuses on two characters instead of one, like the original trilogy did. The prequels focused on both Obi-Wan and they focused on Anakin. And the new ones try to focus on Kylo. No, they definitely focused on both of them in the prequels.
I mean, the original trilogy also made time for Leia and Han.
Right, yeah. It made time for Leia and Han, but, I mean, it really forced down your throat, though, that the main character is Luke, and that they are just side characters in his story. While when you're watching the prequels, you know that it's both Anakin and Obi-Wan's story, because they both get their things, major things that happen to them throughout it all. And with the new trilogy, it really follows Rey, and then it follows Kylo, and it seems like a weird Naruto Sasuke thing, because it's like this guy who's doing all these terrible things, and he's like, okay, this character needs to die, and he needs to die horribly, and they're trying to redeem him, and it's like, but you're an asshole, though.
Hold on. Who's Sasuke in this scenario?
It's Kylo.
No.
Kylo is Sasuke.
Absolutely
Kylo is absolutely Sasuke. Huh?
Ren is Sasuke.
How is Ren Sasuke?
It doesn't make any sense.
It makes all the sense.
How?
Because I can totally see Kylo Ren with a fucking headband going, Naruto, snarf, snarf, snarf.
Really?
It's gonna happen.
No, look. I'm just saying, Kylo...
Don't you believe it?
No, I don't. Just like I don't believe in Rey. I feel like Rey is the most... Okay. Rey would have been a great character. Sakura? No, she would have been a great character if they gave her a personality. But after the first movie, her personality is gone.
Well, that's because they blank slated her to be like the perfect female protagonist.
Yeah, the perfect female protagonist. Yeah, you are correct. That's what they did. They blank slated her so people can like overput whatever they want on her, whatever emotion they wanted on her, and that's what they did.
I would argue Luke is just as bad about that. You kind of need your protagonist to have not an overabundance of defining features for the sake of relatability. I mean, I'd say Luke is just as bad. Like Luke's characteristics are about.
I mean, yes and no. The first movie, he was a fucking pompous little prick.
He was whiny. I don't know if I'd say he's pompous.
He was a teenager.
But you don't really ever get like that from Rey. Rey.
Yeah. But I would say, but with Luke though, since the original movies came out like in the 70s. He was the archetype for like what you literally get as that generic hero now. Like he's that guy who's like who every like generic hero is based off of. Because that's just who he really was. He was just, oh, I'm here. I'm the hero. You know who I am because you look at me and you're like, oh, that's the main character hero guy.
Well, he was intentionally designed to fit a hero archetype, like a classical
hero archetype. Exactly. He's literally the Sir Lancelot, the King Arthurs and stuff like that.
Sure.
So, and to me, Rey just seems like, just like Kylo, she's just a half-written character. They're two halves of a perfect character.
I'll say I will agree that Rey is less defined than Luke is.
Absolutely.
I don't agree with the people who go on saying, "Oh, she's a Mary Sue. How is she so capable?" It's like everything she does, there's reasonable explanations for how and why.
Yeah.
She would know. She would know to do them.
Yeah, she grew up on a desert planet by herself. Like it's right there in the first movie.
Yeah, but
she knows how to fight because people try to mug her. She knows how tech works because she has to salvage scrap. She knows how to fly because she's had to fly like machines before locally on the planet. Like, it was about the Force because she's heard about the fucking Force, and then when she tries her mind trick, it's because she's heard that's a thing. Like that's not like uncommon knowledge.
Yeah, and that's fine. And like I said, that's why I think most of the stuff that happens in literally The Force Awakens, I think The Force Awakens is a great movie. I think it's set up perfectly for the start of a trilogy. It's just that the other two fall off in two completely different directions. It's cumbersome, but. All right, well, we'll move on from the new trilogy. I think we've pretty much covered most of what we can cover with that.
Sounds good. It keeps feeling like we're about to trip into prequels or original trilogy anyway.
Yeah. So, all right, let's move on to basically the original trilogy itself. We'll move on to original trilogy, Legends, Extended Universe, stuff that comes before, like KOTOR. First thing I do want to cover, though, is because I know, Pat, you've actually played the KOTOR games. Why is Darth Revan apparently like the coolest fucking person ever?
So the reason KOTOR I think gets a lot of love is morality in Star Wars in what most people install was black and white. It's good and bad. And KOTOR starts to lead into more, well, that's not how the world works. The world isn't just good and bad.
Right.
Why is the Force that way?
Yeah.
And that's kind of, I think that's the appeal of KOTOR. So I don't know. It's also that it was like a first really solid RPG that took place in Star Wars. Like it's the combination of it was doing things in Star Wars that weren't really done in the obviously video game format or in any of the movies.
Right.
And then also it was just a damn good video game by itself.
And is KOTOR one of the first games that actually does the whole like the actions you take make you more good or more evil?
I don't believe so. I believe the Jedi Knight series would have did that first.
Okay.
Mainly Dark Forces 2 Jedi Knight.
Okay, and what really affects it in there? Is it literally like decisions you make or how you use your force powers?
So I think like Mass Effect.
Okay, so it's like a renegade.
Yeah, like that roots are in roots are in KOTOR.
Okay. Like, and so I know KOTOR's story like is like largely encompassing of like the character Darth Revan. Like I know a lot of his stuff is in backstory though, right? Because he's not like.
So I mean, spoilers for KOTOR, but
it's like 20 years old.
The first KOTOR, you are Revan. You just don't know it at the beginning of the game.
Oh, okay.
In KOTOR 1, you like the game takes up and you're like a soldier on a ship.
Yeah.
There's a Jedi on the ship named Bastila. Ship crashes. You go find her. Blah blah blah. You find out eventually in the game you're not force sensitive at the beginning, or you don't know you are. You eventually find out, hey, you are force sensitive. They trained you to be a Jedi.
Yeah.
And there's kind of picking up on a hubbub that they know more about you than you know about you.
Yeah.
And it turns out that you were Revan. The main Jedi chick Bastila managed to like wipe your memory.
Yeah.
And get you like, hey, you're not so evil anymore.
Yeah.
Reason you turned evil was because you felt like the Jedi weren't doing enough
to save the galaxy
to help. Like they were inaction was the word of the day, and so they had Revan was like, well, I'm going to take these Jedis and go fight the Mandalorians because they're slaughtering planets and we need to stop them. And so he does that. A bunch of Jedi leave. They end up becoming Sith. And being mind wiped, and then a game where you get to make your decisions, you then go, oh, well, do I continue to do what Revan did? Do I stay to the light side?
Gotcha.
And canonically, obviously it's not part of the canon anymore at all, but within the story of KOTOR, the true ending would be he does go evil.
Okay, so he goes back to...
Yes.
But to be fair, like what he's doing is like a... what would it be? Sorry, what are the three alignments? It's like chaotic, neutral, and...
Lawful.
So he's like lawful evil.
Yes.
Okay, so he's lawful evil because he's doing evil, but he's doing it in the sake of justice, kind of thing.
Well, and then that's how, because it's a republic back then too, And in between KOTOR 1 and 2, the Empire kind of takes over because he's the one leading the charge on that.
Right.
And then in KOTOR 2, you play as someone called the Exile, who is someone who also, they disconnected themselves from the Force,
right,
because they didn't like the way the Jedi and everybody was operating,
right,
and they come back. And the second one even more really plays into the morality of a good action may lead into a bad outcome, and a bad action may lead to a good outcome.
Yeah.
So you could do something that gets you light side points in the game, but it ends up getting someone mugged. Like that's like the main, like the first thing where they really hammer it. Is if someone comes up, can I have some money? You're like, sure. You get your life side points.
Yeah.
And then literally you see a cutscene. He runs around the corner and gets mugged.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's pretty cool. Like, I didn't know like KOTOR 2 went that deep. That's actually pretty fun.
It's one of my and it leads to a lot of replayability because of it. Yeah. Like, there's a lot of cool like fantasy things. Like, it brings in some more fantasy stuff into Star Wars, and like you come into like a handmaiden's order that this one Jedi is training all these other women to. They're not training to be Jedi, but to be capable fighters, and that they are kind of all Force sensitive.
Yeah.
But like it really hones in on like almost like a cookie cutter thing. They all have the same hair color, same clothes, almost same like borderline same facial features.
Yeah.
That's really fucking creepy.
It's like
a harem, man.
It's like a cool place you go to in the game.
No, man, I'm making warriors. They're warriors.
That's the warriors, not my harem.
Have them be all identical like this. Why are you questioning?
Man's got a type.
Well, it's a lady who leads the whole thing.
Okay,
lady's got a type.
You don't think they were progressive back then?
I'm sorry. Let me shift the pronoun then.
Yeah.
Really creepy.
But yeah, no, KOTOR is something I think that still stands up today, and it being already so disconnected from the Star Wars lore to begin with, the fact that it's not canon anymore really doesn't affect it.
How long does it take place before?
Like 3,000 years.
Oh,
like, it is, it is way before Star Wars.
I assumed it was like 100 years or something. I didn't realize it was that long.
It's a long time.
I think their goal was we want to be so clear of things people have already written about what's happening here that we can't step on anybody's toes.
Right.
We have all this room to play with. That's all our own.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then the Star Wars MMO takes place like right before, right after. Those, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, but it's like the same exact like universe.
Yes, the MMO does pick up right after, and it actually eventually there's a group called the Revenites who believe in Revan's beliefs and stuff.
Okay.
You follow all the way through, and eventually Revan does appear again in that. Like, it is definitely a continuation of that story.
It's kind of weird to me that they've never I guess thrown more into. I mean, obviously they've thrown a lot into Revan, but they've never I guess Disney, since they didn't pick up any of that story. It seems like such a cool story that they could have really went somewhere with, because he's such an interesting character.
They still could do something with that.
They could.
So they
technically Revan canon, but not the whole story of the game.
So
I don't know.
The only
that's still canon.
So that actually, I was trying to look up to see if anything with Revan related is canon. The only thing that exists now is in the visual dictionary for Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah,
they list out some of the platoons for the First Order.
Yeah,
and one of them is the Revan platoon.
Oh.
And that's it. That's the only use of his name that is canon.
Yeah.
Filoni, what's his name? Who did Clone Wars?
Yeah, Dave Filoni.
He wanted to bring there was a scene where they were having a bunch of old, I guess I don't want to say Sith, but old Sith-esque characters in a scene in Clone Wars, and he wanted Revan to be there, but he got told no.
I think he popped a statue of him into a scene in Clone Wars, and I think he also snuck a mural or something like that in the Rebels TV show. So I feel like Dave Filoni is kind of like the patron saint of good EU, where he's like, I'm gonna resurrect all this stuff. You're not allowed to take it away from me.
So basically, with Revan's character, since he his whole story takes place so far in the past, he could still that character, or the Revanite or whatever you said it was, he could basically be, since it's been 3,000 years, that's one of the only remaining things that people even remember about him, just like maybe his name or something like that.
Right. I mean, it's ancient history at that point in Star Wars. History, so like, and you're talking about a galaxy of ancient history versus what we're talking about a planet here.
Our own
so
US history
so much stuff could be lost to time. That's what I'm saying. It's still, you can go still enjoy it.
Yeah.
Without being like, well, this isn't canon. It's like, well, it doesn't matter because even when it was canon, it didn't change. It didn't affect anything.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So KOTOR is definitely one I wanted to give a try to, just because I know people like, oh man, Darth Revan's such a cool character and all this stuff. So it's like I really wanted to like.
Well, you can play it on PC and Xbox.
Yeah, I know it just came out for Xbox, so
and they're talking.
Try to play it on PC.
PC's pretty rough these days. Xbox is
getting it to work.
Probably the way to go.
Hard.
Yeah.
The only thing I would say is the second one is notoriously buggy.
Okay. All right. So original trilogy. Now, everyone knows that the original trilogy is where the standard comes from for what every judgment Star Wars based comes from for every piece of merchandise to piece of media they come out with. How does it stack up nowadays? Because unlike y'all, I think all y'all saw in your childhood, right?
Kid.
I didn't see it until I was in my 20s. I thought the original movie was good. I thought it was boring. I thought it was good. It's just like which is why I said I really loved The Force Awakens, because it seemed like the first movie just sped up and with like a lot more action in it. And so the second one was Empire Strikes Back. Beautiful movie. That's the best movie out of pretty much out of all the Star Wars movies. I personally didn't care for Return of the Jedi. I love the whole ending of the movie, but the whole like Ewoks and all of a sudden at the beginning of the movie, like, hey, they just like start explaining a bunch of things. Actually, you two are actually brother and sister, and blah blah blah. Your father's evil, and it's like, this feels like it came out of nowhere. Like it felt like Luke and Leia were supposed to have a romance, and then all of a sudden George came back and he was like, "Now fuck that," and was just like, "No, they're brother and sister." And then the whole romance between Han and Leia felt like it came out of nowhere to me, because at first it was just like she literally couldn't stand him. Then all of a sudden now she's ready to like jump his bone.
Well, that happened in the second movie.
What did?
Literally, I love you. I know.
Yeah.
That's in the second movie. Yeah, so that 100%.
She kisses Luke in the second movie too, right? Or was it the first movie?
Only first movie.
Okay, first movie. I'm sorry.
She kisses him in A New Hope and Empire.
Empire.
What did she? It's not on the
at the beginning.
That's right. Yes. Yes, but at that point is when he does Lucas had already decided at that point they were brother and sister.
No, because right after that he goes to Yoda. Yoda tells him.
No, he says there's another. He doesn't say he has a sister.
Yeah, he says another, because you don't find out they're brother and sister until literally Return of the Jedi.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no mention of them being related until Return of the Jedi, and it's absolutely revisionist whenever people are like, "Oh no, they were supposed to be brother and sister from the beginning."
Yeah,
even if you leave out the kiss, even if you leave out the awkward incest kiss from Empire, like the very first EU novel, was it Splinter of the Mind's Eye? Sets it up where like they both have the hots for each other in that novel. And that was at the time canon. Like that was a canon new novel.
They didn't know. It's not their fault.
I mean, and plus things might be different in a galaxy far, far away.
Yeah.
But
who knows? Who knows?
But it's like I think that Return of the Jedi to me is like I like it less than I like Episode 3 from the prequels. Like it just
really,
yeah, dude. I know. I just really didn't like the majority of Return of the Jedi. The whole
the Jabba the Hutt scene, like the beginning of it was awesome.
It was
when he fights the Rancor.
I was too busy looking at Leia in that scene for all the wrong reasons. So, and I'm not even going to fake like I wasn't. I really was. So, like, literally, like when Luke shows up and everything, I was like, no, she's going to keep the outfit though. So,
I mean, she literally is still wearing the outfit and she chokes out a fat guy.
Yeah.
That is my dream. That's how I want to go out.
You know what you want, huh?
Yeah.
But it's just that. Also, Boba Fett, he's so lame.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like, everybody's like, Boba Fett was so cool. And I'm like, what does he do, though?
He's got
he's
a jetpack.
He's a cool design, and he's mysterious. That's it.
Yeah.
Got a jetpack.
And then he just serves to, like, eat shit for the third movie. And so it's like, yeah, you're so lame.
Yeah.
But
like, Mandalorians are post hoc cool. Like, Boba Fett is cool, completely external to anything in those first 10 movies. Like,
yeah.
I should say he is cool. Like, he is cool in those movies, but you don't know fucking anything about him. Like, he's barely a character.
He looks cool. That's it.
Yeah, the same with what was
it? Cool. He's got a cool voice. He captures Han Solo, so you're like, oh man, he can get the drop on Han Solo and Luke. Like, wow. That's about it, though.
What is the one from the new trilogy? The one that's in the silver.
Captain Phasma.
Yeah, Phasma. Yeah. Like, Phasma looks cool as shit and then goes out so lame in freaking Last Jedi.
We have to call her by her family name, Captain Toy.
Captain Toy, you're right. Absolutely. Captain Toy. Like, she is literally the Boba Fett of the new trilogy.
Yeah.
Like,
well,
looks
they
cool as
wanted
shit.
her to be.
Oh, yeah. But, like, alright, so, the original Star Wars, I find the original movie, I don't think it ages well. It just...
I still love it. I still love that.
Right.
I think it's okay. I will say, I think the problem that you're probably having with it is what a lot of people have, is that we're more used to, like, modern movie pacing, which is much faster.
Yeah.
Much, much faster. Like, when Star Wars came out, like, relative to its contemporaries, that was a really fast-paced, action-packed movie. But you go back now, it is the slowest, most deliberate in its pacing. And I think that can let your attention span, like, drift a little bit.
Yeah, I get it. I get it that literally one of the reasons why I don't like it so much is because I'm spoiled from, like, all the other media I've consumed. But, I understand. I really do understand that when it came out, that when people were watching it in the theaters, their minds were literally blowing out of their skulls. Like, I completely get that. It's just that, a great movie stands the test of time no matter what. And I still think it's a good movie. Don't get me wrong. But I just think, that the Force Awakens is a much better version of that movie. It's like almost like a perfect remake, Just saying.
About that, you're gonna get some ads for that one.
Oh, hey, I'm just saying. Like, so I'm assuming everyone's here's favorite of the original trilogy is Empire Strikes Back, right?
It's my favorite of all 9.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, okay. Usually, I don't know. See, Empire's the better movie.
Yeah.
A New Hope is the one I watch more.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh man, I could.
It's probably the easiest to watch. It's a self-contained story.
Right. Yeah.
Like, if I watch Empire, I'm going to watch Return of the Jedi. Like,
I feel like watching A New Hope, you would want to watch Empire, though. And,
New Hope, like, it's wrapped up at the end.
Yeah. Like, if there was nothing else in Star Wars after that, then yeah.
Well, they show Darth Vader escape at the end of New Hope, right?
No.
So we're supposed to assume he dies at the end of that one?
He does. He spins off.
Right, that's what I thought. Like, they show him escaping the little shit.
Well, he spins off. You don't see him die.
Yeah.
But you can, there was never another one, you could just assume he died.
Yeah. Okay, so
that was back. If we're setting up for the.
You cut out. Repeat that.
I was just saying that was back before the age of we're setting up for the sequel.
Yeah, exactly.
So just because we're talking about A New Hope, I want to bring up something that was adorable in Rise of Skywalker. Chewie finally got his medal.
He did.
Chewie finally got his fucking medal.
I'm gonna see. I can tell Dan and I are on the same page. It just feels so like remember Star Wars, like
remember thing.
Yeah, but it was cute. Okay.
It wasn't. No. It was a problem that he didn't get his medal. It was. Why doesn't Chewbacca get a medal? But like, it's done. Like, it happened. Like, he didn't get the medal. It's way more awkward to like give somebody.
To like what Terrence said earlier, like the newer stuff felt like fan fiction. Like that part particularly reads like total fan fiction.
Yeah, but it was a sweet moment. And I didn't have an issue with it.
I agree that it was a cute moment.
Sorry, Chewie, lost in the mail. Along with my invitation.
You're too tall, Chewie. You don't get one.
I'm pretty sure I groaned in the theater when it happened. That was
audible groan.
That movie was a lot of me just going.
Dude, like, literally the moment you found out Palpatine in the movie, you should have just started groaning right then and there. And just,
funny enough, I ranted to my cousin when the trailer came out.
Yeah.
When Palpatine's voice is in the trailer, and I was like, if these motherfuckers bring back Palpatine, I swear to God.
So, like...
I knew they would. It seems like... Jesus Christ.
Yeah, so Palpatine in the original trilogy. Palpatine in the original trilogy, he was just kind of basically the shadow master behind everything, and Darth Vader's actually going around and executing all his plans.
Vader's the muscle.
He is, yeah. And to me, like in the original trilogy, that's like a perfect dynamic between the two of them that you don't get with any of the rest of the movies, like from like either of the following two trilogies, just because like you obviously have the Sith and the Sith Lord, and like basically they work off each other so well from the moment that you first see them together and to the moment that Vader just is like, fuck you, whole, and dunks his ass.
I mean,
like,
they tried to do the same thing with
Kylo Ren and Snoke.
Yeah.
But it just doesn't work with them for some reason. Like,
it worked fine in the first movie.
Yeah, you're
literally
right.
that dynamic.
I think it was just something about the pacing. I think
Yeah.
it was just something about the overall pacing of the narrative made it feel premature.
Yeah.
Like, not even... I think if things had been done differently, it could have even still happened in the second movie.
Yeah.
You still could have killed Snoke and it would have been okay, but...
Yeah. So, going like, into the extended universe a little bit. In the extended universe, Luke ends up having a kid. I forget what the name of his wife is in the EU.
Mara Jade.
Yeah. So, he ends up having a kid. The kid goes on to like, have all kinds of adventures and stuff. And one of the main things that I was thinking watching the whole new trilogy is, how did Luke not get his fuck on and have a kid? Like, he has no progeny at any point.
Shame.
I see. I kind of read it and was almost like he was too busy. Like he was preoccupied with his work.
But what work really? Because I mean, Kylo. I mean, you're right. He did do work. I'm sorry, Kylo just tore it all down before the movie even started. But still,
well, here's the thing: is you could argue that maybe he did have kids, but then like got killed by Ben because he tried to murder Ben in his sleep. But then also everything after that, if you're putting yourself into exile because you nearly killed your nephew and everything you tried to create burned down around you, you're probably not thinking, I should have kids.
Well, not
but you probably still want some space, pussy.
Well, and functionally, Star Wars lore would explain it too. In that
you don't know that he's not fucking those fish nuns on that island. You don't know.
They're called, he would fuck the porgs.
He found ancient Jedi texts and read them, and functionally, the prequel series explains this. But he's not supposed to have a love.
Yeah, but I mean, Luke. Yeah, but then literally at that point, he's just like, "Oh, these texts are bullshit."
Well, he does that.
So he gets to that point.
But
so
then he becomes a hermit. So obviously he doesn't fuck then.
So what is he doing? Just jerking off on the island by himself with the porgs?
He jerks off on the porgs' faces. They're like,
like, that's exactly what's happening.
I mean, obviously it has to
Terrence, if you can jerk off with the Force, you have no idea what that feels like. It might be better.
You're absolutely right.
You think he's force fucking Ben Kenobi?
I mean, if he could force fuck Ben Kenobi, I'm sure he would have did it to distract him during one of their fights or something.
Force fuck Yoda. Hard you are.
Really? Really? You proud of that?
Yeah.
Like, stop.
I guess, you know, I really do see Luke as that generic hero in their like original, but like I said, it's in the time before you really had those super generic heroes. So I really enjoyed his character. Han was a great character. Leia grew into a great character.
Yeah, she was good from the get-go. She was great. She mouthed off to an authority figure like that's the first fucking thing she does.
I just really wish in the original trilogy they gave her the chance. Which I will say that's one of the things I really did like about the newest movie. Was it the newest one?
Rise of Skywalker.
Rise of Skywalker. I do enjoy the scene where they show the flashback of Luke and Leia having their little lightsaber duel because I really wish Leia got the chance. I'm saying it was a cute scene.
No. The only part my complaint with it was it's just creepy looking.
It did look creepy.
It's very the CG just doesn't look as great there, and you're like,
yeah. And they even shot it in the dark too. And that's what made it even worse. But
that's a cheat for making bad CGI look better. Light and dark.
Yeah. I was gonna say they shot it in the dark and it still looked creepy. That's what I'm saying. That was like poor CG right there. But like. I don't know, I just kind of, wish, Leia already being this badass in the first movie, she got a chance to, like, maybe just fight somebody, shit.
I think the EU fills in a good amount of that, too. I mean, like...
Yeah, it definitely does.
You have Leia get disguised up and everything, too, trying to go rescue Han.
Yeah, but then in the Rise of Skywalker, did they also use, like, that scene as an excuse of, she had a vision that her son was going to be evil as shit, and that's why she decides to just stop fighting altogether?
I can't think anymore about how dumb the Rise of Skywalker is. We're on the original trilogy.
You're right. Sorry.
Happy thoughts.
Happy thoughts.
Boy, remember how good Leia was in the original trilogy?
She was great in the original trilogy.
Beginning to end.
She was great.
I was about to say, so, I mean, I do think Leia's a pretty great character, and, like, as Dan was saying, when she mouths off to authority, like, if Star Wars was rated R, it basically would have just been her being like, fuck you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like her, I think her first speaking line is her talking to Vader, and that's like having like a Nazi SS officer in your face, and you're in like, I don't know, like World War II era, just being like, hey, go fuck yourself, Nazi officer.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what she did. Like, she was a badass.
Yeah, she's Space Anne Frank.
Now, I don't think she was Anne Frank.
I wouldn't say all that.
Let's go with Joan of Arc, maybe.
No, she's Space Anne Frank, and her closet got blown up in the beginning of the movie.
Anne Frank wasn't royalty, so the comparison doesn't really work out.
She's a believer.
I want to avoid that in this analogy. Eject.
All right, well, with the games and stuff, though, a lot of the games, even the ones that are just... like, the ones that were just completely wrong from the time they came out and just really didn't belong, what is the one with fucking Starkiller?
Force
Unleashed. Yeah, so Force Unleashed, just like, when that came out before Disney even got the acquisition, it's like, where the fuck does this fit in the story? And how is this... like, so it just... I feel, though, while that one is just lame, because it doesn't really fit in the story, the games were good, but... getting to see Vader in those movies, in those games, Vader is so goddamn badass that I wish there was more we got out of it.
Yeah.
Because, like, Vader, like, in the opening of Force Unleashed 1, when you get to just play as Vader, overpowered, and you get to just wipe out everyone trying to attack you, it's such a cool thing that I wish they finally did get to put in the movie in, Rogue One? Where that scene in the hallway, he just fucking eliminates everyone so easily. Like, Vader's such a badass that I wish that Kylo could have lived up to that. Especially being the fact that his whole motivation is, I wish I was like Darth Vader. And he doesn't.
Notice me, Grandpa.
Yeah. And, Darth Vader's redemption arc in the first one is just so... and I know it's so weird because it's like, in retrospect, seeing all the stuff that comes out afterwards, it feels like, you almost want to fillet the original trilogy more just because it did everything so, like, concisely, but it's like... it did it good.
And part of it too is that there's less weight upon the original trilogy.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't have baggage tied to it being part of a franchise. Like,
right.
The only thing the second movie had to deal with was the first movie.
Yeah.
And so on.
Yeah.
And see, that's kind of why I said, like, are the new ones that bad, or is it literally just because we're basing them against everything else that that came before?
They're bad. They're bad. They're bad movies because the sum total complaints that most people have about the prequels and the sequel trilogy is less so that it's disobeying the rules of the original trilogy. It's more so that they're just bad. Just coincidentally, they also break rules set up in the original trilogy, and it feels sort of unforgivable, especially in the prequels, because it's like, George, you made these movies. These are your rules to your characters. It's like dialogue you should be intimately familiar with. Why are you just gonna say all that shit's wrong?
Well, because with the original trilogy, and forgive me if I'm wrong, because I know I just really... but didn't Steven Spielberg, like, help George Lucas with those?
So I think technically so, in that they were like friends and like talked with each other.
Yeah.
I don't recall
I think they had more like
credited.
I think Steven Spielberg had more to do with like the Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
like
they
obviously.
Absolutely.
But see, I was just wondering, just because it definitely seems with the original trilogy, maybe George was just younger and less afraid to take the weird risks. But it was like something was curbing him to stop going as crazy.
He only directed the first movie.
He did the first and third.
Yeah, he
right?
did the first and third.
No,
right.
No, he only did the first one.
Oh, really? Who did the third one?
Irvin Kershner.
Oh.
Let me look it up.
I was gonna say I could have sworn that
he only
did the
directed
third
the first one, and even with the first movie, he always had a group of people around him to tell him when his ideas were bad.
Yeah, see, and that's why the prequel suffered, because he was sniffing his own farts and didn't have that at that point.
Oh yeah, exactly. Like he had this group of people around him to basically be like,
"Yes, man.
Hey, this is kind of dumb. Maybe we should tweak this." Actors that were willing to say, "Hey, I think the character would maybe say this line." He had people writing great music to help things recover, and even the original film apparently got saved in the editing room by his wife at the time.
Oh, really?
I believe it.
Yeah. So the Return of the Jedi was directed by Richard Marquand.
Richard Marquand.
Yeah.
I always thought he did the first and third one, and somebody else just did the second one.
Irvin Kershner did the second one.
Okay.
And the third one was Richard Marquand, who is also a friend of his. He only directed the first one and the prequels.
Huh.
Though saying that he directed the prequels might be a strong word.
I think George Lucas works best with someone filtering him. Filtering out
a group of people filtering him.
Absolutely.
Like the Clone Wars, I think it's a perfect example of that. You got great Star Wars stuff in there, but it was Lucas providing the ideas, and then people refining them and making them a lot cooler.
Yeah.
I mean, he did that. Was it Red Wings? The movie about World War II?
Red Tails.
Red
Red
Tails?
Tails,
Well,
yeah.
whatever. I remember that was a pretty good movie.
Well, yeah, but see, no, I'm not really questioning his directorial ability. It's his writing.
I do. I question him on both. I think he has really good ideas. I think he has a cinematic eye, but I don't think he's very good at actually giving direction. And I think a lot of his writing definitely needs an editor or a proofreader or something.
Yeah, no, he definitely needs something. Like I said, George Lucas you can tell that he got real lucky with the original trilogy in a way.
Oh yeah, that was lightning in a bottle.
Yeah, it was definitely lightning in a bottle, because when they were like, "Hey man, do you want to do Star Wars again?" and just started fucking chucking money at him, he just went so crazy with the crap in the prequels. So yeah, since we're starting about the prequels, let's just move on to literally prequel talk now. It's angry time. Yeah. It's time to get angry. So
Hurt me more, Snake.
Yeah.
Makes me feel alive again.
So let's start off with the first one. So
ooh, what you drinking? Who's got a drink there?
Terrence popped that.
I don't know what you're talking about.
What you drinking, buddy?
Nothing. So
Quality audio.
So let's start episode 1. After all these years, people are waiting. You have a new. So
shouldn't be that funny.
But all this time, you have all these books and stuff coming out. You have all these fantasies thinking about what Darth Vader had to have been like, what forced him to turn evil, and then you start getting these movies where you're just like, no.
This is easy to say with the benefit of hindsight. I don't give a fuck how Anakin Skywalker turned evil. Like, Ben Solo told me, or not Ben Solo, Obi-Wan Kenobi told me absolutely everything I needed to know about that in A New Hope. Everything I needed to know about it, or excuse me, in A New Hope and in
Return of the Jedi.
Return of the Jedi, thank you. Yeah, I learned everything I needed to know about that process, there. I'm like, oh, I get it. He used to be good. Something bad happened.
Yeah.
He went super evil, and he hunted down Jedi from the Jedi Order.
Yeah.
I got it.
Yeah, but you needed to know he was a shit kid who whined a lot.
No, I don't. I don't ever need to see that Anakin Skywalker.
But what about his rat tail?
Made a hot rod in his backyard and was a slave. I don't care.
No, I do agree with you on that. I think episode 1 and 2 are literally almost a wash. If you started at episode 3 and then started from there, I think it would have been interesting.
Maybe.
To basically see literally the whole if you start with episode 3 and then you start with was it the Fallen Order kind of where you see some of the Jedi surviving and how they're surviving. I think that's how you go with the prequel.
Maybe.
Huh?
Maybe. That might have been good. I feel like just better would have been just start just like
about
first
to crack
movie,
another bottle.
Anakin and Obi-Wan are fighting in the Clone Wars. Like the Jedi Order is not this super structured thing. Let the Jedi Order be like a knightly order where like sure they have some central temple on some remote, because that's weird. Having your weird monk martial order being directly adjacent to like U.S. Capitol.
Yeah.
Remote planet, most temple. They're kind of free-ranging gunslingers, and like the Clone Wars are going on, like they're happening, and you know you could rewrite that whole fucking thing to be whatever you like, and then Anakin and Obi-Wan happen to be on what they perceive as the good side of that conflict.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens that like you know corrupts Anakin or turns him to evil, you know probably Palpatine whispering sweet nothings to him in bed. And
pretty much.
Sure. And then he goes and like he's already got kids before he goes evil. Let's do that. Like,
yeah.
Sure they're really young, but like, you know he's been a father to them while they're super young, and then he goes evil and he starts killing fucking Jedi. And yeah, sure, Obi-Wan hides Luke with his, you know, with his uncle. And gets given over to be royalty. Sure, checks out.
So I asked this, and
before you move on, I just want to point out something. When you said Emperor Palpatine whispering sweet nothings to Anakin, my first thought was just them laying in bed and Palpatine going, "Do it,
do it,
do it,
do it now."
Oh yeah.
And then he jerks them off.
Oh God. All right, so I posed this question to you, and I'm gonna start with you, Jay.
Oh.
Did the prequel movies irreparably, like, did they permanently damage the franchise? As in, like, Darth Vader will never be as cool. No. You will never be able to, like everything will be heavily weighted from the original trilogy and then the prequels. So anything that comes out, it has to, like, either be way worse or way better.
Okay, let me ask you this. Does Dragon Ball GT irreversibly ruin Dragon Ball Z for you?
No, because it's been decanonized.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They're three different... They're connected, but I don't look at them as the same thing.
But in that aspect, if Dragon Ball GT was the last of it and they never made any more, yes, it does. Like, it does permanently damage the franchise. Yeah, because that's the last part. That's the last story. You get it.
But I would just ignore it.
I mean, you can ignore it all you want. I would
do what I want to do.
Yeah, but I was just saying, for the longest time, the prequels were the last.
How dare you?
Yeah, I was saying for the longest time, the prequels were the last piece of Star Wars you get. And if that's the last part of Star Wars you get, that would have been like, oh, really?
I mean, that was the last part we were gonna get for what, like, a long time. 15 years?
That's what I'm saying. But
like,
that's like,
it doesn't bother me. It's like, it is what, like, I like the original. I like aspects of the prequels. I think there was a bunch of dumb shit in there.
Well, you're right.
But Star Wars is not my end-all, be-all franchise.
Right.
Like, I don't have, like, that's not...
I just enjoy it. Like, I don't like Star Wars.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, like, I enjoy the characters. I enjoyed the story. And there's aspects of each of the trilogies that I liked, and there's aspects of each of the trilogies I didn't like. Well, no,
everything else,
like the pod, like when we said when the first
pod racing
was cool.
No, pod racing and the fighting.
And as much as Jar Jar Binks is a horrible character, his fucking universe building, like going to Gungeon City or whatever.
Gungeon.
Gungeon. What the fuck?
Gungeon is a video game.
Whatever. We're gonna enter the Gungeon City, okay? But so, like, I thought that was gorgeous. Like, it looked really pretty, and
those people sure worked hard on their computers.
You're right. You're right.
They did.
There is always a bigger fish.
Yeah. And there was interesting stuff. I really liked the stuff with Obi-Wan. I thought
Well, that's what I was going to say. Like, the redeeming part of the prequel trilogy to me is Obi-Wan.
Yeah.
Like,
he was fantastic.
His story is enjoyable and good. Like, if you cut out everything else ancillary, I enjoy Obi-Wan's story and growth throughout the prequel trilogy and then into the Clone Wars.
Yeah.
I do think the Clone Wars cartoon really does help redeem that era of that story.
Okay.
personally, I feel like redeem's a little strong, but it does retroactively make me hate some of those story beats less. I'll give it that.
Well, yeah, because I'll say, like, Obi-Wan is great in the prequels, but Anakin pulls them down so hard, and it's not even just his character. I mean, it's also Hayden Christensen's bad acting. Granted, I know it's not his fault. Yeah. I know it's not his fault.
That's not him.
Yeah, I know it's not his fault.
I mean, to kind of buttress that point a little bit, to kind of bring up nostalgia critic from him, he just did the Star Wars prequels.
Yeah,
I think over the summer.
Okay.
One of the scenes that he was talking about was the scene where Padme comes up to Anakin and tells him, "I'm pregnant." And he's just talking about, you could see the myriad of emotions of terror, shock, and joy, like all in one, like encompassing him. Like he's like literally like the man can actually act. Like watching that scene, I was legit just like, holy shit! Like I can see everything you're saying, and I can tell every emotion that just went across your face. And it was just 30 seconds of yay.
Yeah, but when you're directed as a crazy person, you don't get to do that.
I mean, you're right.
I'm about to say, the prequel trilogy has a lot of fantastic actors in it.
Yeah, you have Liam Neeson, you have freaking Hayden Christensen, who's actually a pretty good actor.
Natalie Portman.
Natalie Portman. What's the that played Obi-Wan? Fucking
Ewan McGregor.
Ewan McGregor is a fucking fantastic actor. You have great actors in the movie with a hack director, but like it's just that.
Director.
Yeah, director. You're right. You put those heavy quotes on it, but
he did direct.
He did direct. Yeah.
Well, no, he was in that chair, but he did not provide direction. See,
exactly.
Direct is a verb in this instance, and I don't think he did that.
Yeah. Oh shit, Sam Jackson, of course. Yeah, you get good actors in those movies, but
Sam Jackson without hair and or facial hair.
Yeah,
the dude who played Dooku.
Yeah,
he's a great actor.
Christopher Lee.
Yeah, Christopher Lee. Yeah, fucking
he was really trying.
Yeah,
he was really trying.
And that's what's crazy. You would think with all this acting talent, like retroactively looking back on it, all this acting talent in those movies, it should be fucking Oscar worthy. But fuck. Like, and that's how you can tell that it's literally a lot of George Lucas being a hack director.
But fuck indeed.
But fuck. Yeah, exactly. That's what you feel like after you watch those movies.
I mean, like, I don't know if I felt like I got fucked in the butt watching those movies.
You can't, but,
I got fucked in the brain.
So it's probably been a while since you watched the prequels, right?
You're right. It's.
Now, what do you remember about the first movie?
Pod racing, racist Jewish stereotype.
Racist Chinese stereotypes.
Oh, yeah, racist Chinese. Yeah. Darth Maul looking awesome. Really cool fight scene. The fucking underworld place. I'm not gonna say the thing again because you're gonna fucking mock me. And they had the really cool battle at the end with the fucking cool tank.
I think battle droids are cool as hell.
I think I remember the whole movie.
And that's the thing. The problem with that is that all the cool stuff you remember is like in the last 45 minutes of that movie.
No, like a lot of it was like throughout the whole movie.
What? Like the fights are in the last part. The
cool.
pod racing is in the last half.
No,
Droidicas are cool, and they're in the very first part.
Yeah, the pod racing is like the very beginning.
Cool
like the major pod racing scene is the last one. The cool pod racing scene is at the end, right?
No,
there's only one pod racing.
Yeah,
is there? I thought there was two pod racing scenes.
Yeah, it's like the middle because they leave the planet.
Right.
And that's when you see Darth Maul for like the first time. Like he pops up, like creeping, like, "Hey man, what's up?"
He does pop up creepy as shit.
It's just like, "Hey man, gotta get a ride?"
Yeah.
No, but yeah. And then you also get probably the sexiest scene in all of Star Wars.
I didn't hear about Slave Leia.
No.
What?
Kill shot?
No.
Maul turning his blade, and you see the second one come out.
Dude, like,
we all extended our blades on that one. It's
it was fucking awesome.
That is cool. I will argue.
Got two.
Exactly.
I will argue that was cool, and that was definitely a boner moment. I will also say that when we were watching The Force Awakens in theater, audibly we heard us and multiple people go, "Oh!" when Duke Trader fucking whipped out that thing.
That was fucking cool as shit.
Like
I was like,
"Oh!" Like
that's because we knew, like, oh shit, stormtroopers can actually do shit.
Yeah, exactly.
Holy shit.
So I will say, I will argue that also might be the coolest fucking moment in a Star Wars movie because that shit was hot. Like audibly, we like.
To be fair, up until that point,
you hadn't seen Jedi like do like high action,
fighting. Like that was before there was like any actual like sword fighting or lightsaber battles or anything, because everything else was very slow paced.
But it was very kendo focused.
Yeah, you're right.
In the original trilogy.
But it was. And then you get to the new one. Once he does that, it's like, oh, we're turning the on switch. We actually got fucking actual people
Ray Park,
showing up and doing shit.
Yeah, wasn't it Ray Park? The dude that played, like, he also played Snake Eyes in the G.I. Joe movies.
Oh, yeah, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, Ray Park is a badass. He's a legit badass. He played Darth Maul, and I will say, like, the fight scene between him, Qui-Gon, and Obi-Wan is probably one of the best fights in all the fucking movies. Like, it's just a really good fight. You say you disagree?
Yeah, Obi-Wan Anakin at the end of 3 is probably the best one.
It's good, but it also gets it's like the longest fight scene in movie history. So it's like
stakes in that fight.
What's the stakes in that fight? Qui-Gon dies, dude.
No.
So it's revenge.
Let's say they both lost.
Okay.
Well, also, Darth Maul says he wants revenge. Like, revenge for what? Like, within the context of the movie.
You're right.
The EU reasons why.
Hold on. I'm not arguing that this is a good movie now.
Or that the writing or context is good, but the fight itself.
It's not a fight. Like,
right.
It's very flashy, but it's like, I don't really know Qui-Gon Jinn. Like, he's quiet Liam Neeson. Okay.
Yeah.
I know who Obi-Wan is, and this is a younger Obi-Wan, and that's fine,
Yeah.
but he's also spent most of this movie being on a silver ship and, like, not being part of the story.
Yeah.
And then we have Red Horned guy, who I've never seen before, who says he wants revenge or something.
Right.
And they're fighting for some reason, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, I thought he was specifically sent to kill Qui-Gon so he wouldn't get the kid. I thought that was the reason why Maul went after him.
I guess.
I haven't watched the movie
I don't know
in
what
forever.
to say. I mean, I haven't either, but like I used to watch the movie a lot when I was younger, and I'm just like, I can't even fucking remember really what but I mean, that's kind of a bad sign. Like, when Luke and Vader fight, like, you know exactly why they're fighting.
Right.
And, like, you know what the stakes are if one of them succeeds.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, when you don't show up to someone's birthday for, like, 40 years.
Yeah, well, yeah.
I'd be pissed off, too. Pat?
I'll say, if you want to talk like context, 40. Yeah, say like talking in scene of context, like what actually is the best fight. Yeah, then definitely Obi-Wan versus Anakin at the end of Episode 3 is the best fight. But that movie, that was like until the movie 13 Assassins came out. I think that was like the longest fight scene in movie history because they fight for like the last 30 minutes of the movie. It's long as shit.
I slept through it when I saw it in theaters.
Dragging it out just to say that they made it that long.
Yeah.
Oh, I mean, they definitely did, but I mean, it doesn't stop it from actually being the good fight that it was. I mean, yeah, it was pretty good. I will say that to me, the fight scene I popped the most for, which if y'all say y'all didn't pop for the fight scene, you're lying, is when Yoda fucking drops his fucking cane, whips out the lightsaber, and
cyanide pill for me. Let me kill myself now. Yoda should never have a lightsaber.
What? He's a Jedi, dude.
Ever.
He's a Jedi.
No, that doesn't. No, but what does that mean? Like saying he's a Jedi. Like, so what? Why does he have to have a lightsaber?
Because he's a badass, and they needed to show why he's able to train Luke and be a badass.
He's considered to be the strongest Jedi of all time, isn't he?
He shouldn't even need a sword. Like, he shouldn't need a lightsaber. Like, that defeats. Like,
his
okay,
you're right.
He's supposed to be like a wise mystic.
You're right.
In the cave at the top of a mountain. Like,
you're right.
Like, his whole point is that he says, you know, like, the lines he says to Luke in Empire, like, completely defeat the idea of him thinking that, like, combat is, like, the way to go. Like,
yeah.
He says, you know, wars don't make one great. And he goes, you know, judge me by my size to you as you should not. Like, you know, he's like, luminous beings are we, not this crude matter, like, grabbing Luke's, like, arm and muscle. And you're supposed to be like, wow, so he's super powerful. He can move a fucking ship with his mind. Holy shit.
Yeah.
And then, like, he's got to get out a lightsaber. I'm like, well, no, then I guess it really just comes down to martial prowess. And I'm sorry, I don't buy that an 850-year-old 3-foot lizard is going to be good with a sword. No, I hate it. I hate this forever.
Dan, lightsabers are fucking cool. That's why Yoda
shouldn't have one.
No, Yoda, being like 800 years old, understands one thing: lightsabers are fucking cool. so he carries around a lightsaber because he wants to be cool like the kids, Dan.
Well, to be fair, he probably took a kid's lightsaber. Because
I mean, he probably did.
He probably did. Look how small it is.
Yeah, it's like a walkie-talkie.
He punched the toddler for that thing.
Yeah. Well, he fought, was it Sidious in that one, right?
No, he fought Dooku first.
Yeah,
Dooku first, right?
And then he fights Sidious in the other one.
Yeah. Insane, dude. Like,
and Sidious, he didn't even fucking really...
It's like a weird. It's like a very short thing, and
it
then
was kind of like a draw.
Yeah,
like they both like throw shit at each other.
Yeah, that's because he's just, after he realized like what happened like between Anakin and fucking Obi-Wan, he was just like, oh well, shit's fucked up, and then Yoda just is like, fuck it, I'm done.
I thought you were gonna say what happened between Anakin and the younglings.
All right, wait, I'm sorry.
Hold on.
That's one of the best scenes in that movie, though. I'm sorry.
He slaughtered them.
Yeah. Just him showing up, just hitting the lightsaber, and that one kid's reaction, just the whole, just like jolting when he pulls up the lightsaber. It's so fucked up, but it's such a good scene.
He just wasn't rave dancing, and the kids
that's
were
exactly what he did.
The lightsaber.
Yep.
He was like,
yeah, that's exactly what happened. Yep. Also, I feel like Anakin's character just makes Darth Vader so lame. Like, he's just so easily manipulated throughout the whole fucking trilogy.
He's dumb.
He's dumb. He's like so gullible.
He's a shit kid.
Exactly. He's a shit kid.
Exactly. That's not who I want Anakin to be. I want him to have been like an actual like cool, competent guy, and then like for somebody to like expertly deceive him and steadily lead him towards being evil and corrupt. Not just like, oh, he's kind of a shit to begin with. And
I mean, yeah, he's a shit kid who wanted to get his dick wet, and then he got his dick wet, and then they found he was going to lose the thing that got his dick wet, and he was like, all right, well, now I got to be evil.
Yeah, but then he ended up realizing that the fucking reason why she died is because of him. Because she dies of a broken heart.
Well, I mean, she gave birth, too. That's
but she died of a broken heart, Jay. Yeah, they say she died of
a robot says she died of a broken heart, which is not a medical condition.
Hold on. Obviously, in a galaxy far, far away, it is. We don't know what their diseases are. A broken heart could be something you could die of there, okay?
It's a parasite that got in their heart, and they just say it breaks your heart.
Exactly. She died, and then you hear James Earl Jones deliver the words, no!
To be fair.
Stop laughing at that in theaters.
Dude, I couldn't either.
James Earl Jones, his no is still better than everything he did in the new Lion King.
He's so mean.
Shut up.
Fuck the new Lion King. I'm sorry. Whatever, I don't care. He fucking phoned that shit in. That movie was horrible.
That's a different
video. I bet he did, because he was like, why the fuck am I doing this shit again?
Yeah, and it was literally like all the same lines. Like, you should have just took my lines from the fucking Sandlot and played it in this movie. It would have made more sense.
It's like, you guys replaced everybody else. Why didn't you replace me?
Right?
Because he was the only person who, career was still alive?
There you go.
Let's say Jonathan Taylor Thomas is still alive.
Stop it. He's not.
He's alive.
Really not.
He's alive.
Stop it. He's good. He's as good as dead.
Stop, Terrence. I'm gonna pass out.
I'm sorry. I'm just saying.
I'm getting lightheaded.
just JTT is not alive. Though. Good lord, he's as good as dead. He's fucking manure.
Wow.
Right, look.
Ew.
Who are we dunking on now?
You were dunking on JTT, man. So, alright.
You're gonna get a really sad comment in the comment sections from someone.
No, fuck that. Jonathan Taylor Thomas is gonna comment on this. You'll be like, I'm still alive, here, motherfucker.
Man. I'm sorry, I can't hear you from down there, you 4'11" bitch. And then that's it. I'm sorry.
Why?
I'm sorry. That was wrong. Why are we talking about JTT? Fuck you, Jay. This is your fault.
Did he like take your lunch from you when you were young or something?
He might have.
I mean, haven't you ever seen Tom and Huck?
Yes.
He took someone to watch that movie.
Terrence just hates Home Improvement.
I do. Alright, so...
I mean, it has an age.
Stop it.
Yeah. So, Clone Wars. Oh, fuck you up.
Yay! Clone Wars.
Clone Wars. Woo! So, Clone Wars introduces the Padawan of one Anakin Skywalker by the name of Ahsoka. Was it Ahsoka Tano?
Oh my god, Ahsoka.
Ahsoka. Yeah. Sorry.
Wow. Asuka?
I know. I had the Japanese running around in my head at the same time. Yeah, I know, right? So like the Japanese is running around in my head, but yeah. So Ahsoka Tano. So
Ahsoka.
Shut up! Fuck you!
Let's keep going.
So this character at first
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this.
What?
You give people shit because the Avatar movie with
fuck you!
Hero,
don't you dare compare!
No. It's a show made by Americans for Americans.
No.
It's not like this shit is some fucking Japanese shit. No.
You can't compare me fucking up easily to me directing a whole movie with her name fucked up. Okay, fuck you.
Alright, bro, calm down.
I'll fucking kill you. So, this character, when the show first comes out, is universally reviled. How dare she? She's so annoying. Why would you create this character? So by the time the show, which hasn't ended yet, because I think the newest season either just came out or they just put the preview out for the newest season.
It comes out on the 21st.
Now people are sucking this character's dick and are wondering where she's at all times because the character ended up going through actual character development. And people love her now.
Where is Best Girl? Where in the galaxy
exactly.
is Best Girl, Ahsoka Tano?
So, like, Ahsoka has become like, fuck you, Jay, I swear to God. She becomes a great character, and like you finally get to see her growth and everything. She apparently appears in that show Rebels too.
Mm-hmm. She does.
Yeah, and then even in fucking The Rise of Skywalker, you hear her voice when Rey is hearing all the voices at the end of the movie, and all the Jedi are talking to her. So, like, what are your opinions on this character? We'll start with you, Pat.
So I think it's a perfect example of, as you said, people reacting initially to something instead of letting it get time to breathe.
Yep.
Because they obviously went in with an idea of what they wanted for this character.
Yeah.
And it gets there.
Yeah.
And I think I don't know, like I haven't seen all the Clone Wars, so it's hard. I've seen bits and pieces here and there, so it's hard for me to speak to her as a whole character. But it's just. It's that show to me is that whole time period being given different context and you getting a lot more depth of something and making it a lot more palatable.
Yeah.
And like her, I find like I didn't like Anakin's character particularly at the beginning of that series either.
Yeah.
And there's episodes way down the road where he's a lot more interesting of a character in that show.
Yeah. Well, see, I was gonna say in dealing with the, whole letting a character grow on you kind of thing, I feel like Anakin's character benefits from a series like Clone Wars rather than the movies where you're jumping back and forth between his story and Obi-Wan's so much that, you don't really get enough to see Anakin other than him whining about something or something bad happening to him.
So what you're saying is it's a lot easier to develop a character over 6 seasons of a show than in 3 movies.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, but you're right, because it's definitely easier to do that. But what I'm saying is, why attempt to do it in the movies where you really didn't need to?
But I think the thing that you're kind of sort of missing is the Clone Wars was originally coming out with the movies, weren't they?
No, the animated series.
I thought the first animated movie
those didn't come out until after the movies long ago. Yeah, the animated one came out. It came out after episode 2 and between episode 2 and 3.
No, it came out after.
No, the little animated one. I'm not talking about the CG
one.
The animated one. The animated one came out between 2 and 3.
Yeah, but that's not even canon. So there's no
it is canon because some of it's canon because something that happens in the animated series
doesn't make it canon.
Yes, it is because Mace Windu he force crushes.
Yeah, I understand that, but that show's not canon, and that what is now canon is his chest is fucked up because we know that from the movie.
Come on. I mean, I get what you're saying.
But that's like, you can hate it, but that's what it is. That's how it works.
Terrence.
Yes. You can still love it even though it's not canon.
But something that happens in there happens in the third movie.
But here's my contradiction to that.
It doesn't happen in the third movie. He just has a fucking cough because he's a weird robot guy.
To be fair, remember that time they heard a voice?
Stop
going through the galaxy?
Hey, remember that time that Han Solo got captured by Boba Fett? Oh, wait, that happened in the Star Wars Holiday Special.
Like, got captured in the holidays. Oh,
it's in the cartoon in the Holiday Special. I was 100%
He wasn't captured. He was hung upside down by Chewbacca.
Right, but they reference that later.
Yeah.
But that's not canon anymore. So they're referencing a something, but it's not that not canon thing.
Yeah.
His life day gets talked about in the fucking
Right.
Yeah.
Hang on, we've gone on a big tangent here about things we like being canon.
Oh yeah. But okay,
are we gonna
so
talk about what Grandpa
Ahsoka.
Chewbacca was jerking off to?
No.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
But I will say, I like that Clone Wars series as well. Grievous is still, because of that, my favorite Star Wars villain. And
really?
Yes, like he's so badass in that episode they introduce him. And then they job him out every opportunity to get. They were like, Lucas was like, he's too cool. We need to make him a chump.
Yeah.
It's like, what?
He's too powerful. Put him back in the box.
Like, I thought it was cool as hell that it was like this non-force using thing, using the tool of a Jedi against him, like, to such efficiency. Like, he was basically like the Terminator for Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they're like, actually, he's some coffin loser who, like, loses all the time in Clone Wars.
Yeah.
And it's like, come on, he was cool.
I give it to you. I will definitely say the character of Grievous was cool, but wasted. But, I mean, isn't that what the prequels is all about? Mace Windu literally defeated the major bad guy. He defeated Palpatine and then gets thrown out of a fucking window. So, like, that's what the prequel series did. It literally wasted all these cool characters. Like, hey, look at this character. They're so fucking cool. Oh, yeah, by the way, you obviously know because this is a prequel that they're dead. So, here's how they die.
But even then, the Clone Wars cartoon series, which helps make a lot of things from the prequels better, still grinds Grievous into the ground as like almost like a mustache twirling type villain, and it's like I can't do this.
Yeah, I mean, with Clone Wars, the TV show, again, I haven't watched all of it either because I really want to, because especially after hearing Ahsoka appears in Rebels, it's like I want to see how she got there, but being the fact that the season's apparently not even over. I want to see how she got there, and then apparently what must happen to her in Rebels, why she doesn't show up in anything else. Because
the funny thing, too, is it's known now that Clone Wars brings back Darth Maul.
Right, yeah.
And we see all this arc of Darth Maul, and definitely spoilers for this in Rebels, but you get all the arc of Darth Maul through all of Clone Wars, and then he shows up again in Rebels.
Yeah.
And
thanks, Dave Filoni.
Well, but see, I think the payoff.
No, like honest.
Yeah, like the payoff for it is so legit. Like, I don't think you're gonna like it, Terrence, but like, cause it's instant. The payoff is you're expecting this big fight and you don't get it, but it is the cool, like, when you know what they do, you go, oh my god, like, it pays off scenes from Phantom Menace, and it pays off stuff they built up all throughout this.
If it pays off, I'm fine with it. Like, because, alright, I'll give you, this is going off on a slight tangent, but there's an anime called Gungrave. The anime Gungrave is about two friends who grew up, joined a mafia organization. They were the best of friends. They, like went from the slums to, like, being rich together. Then one friend betrays the other, gets him killed. Anime happens, the dude becomes undead zombie, getting revenge on the whole organization. Finally meets up with his friend again who betrayed him. They team up to kill the whole organization, and he doesn't get revenge on his friend, and they both end up dying together. So it's like, I get it. You get that anime literally builds up to this huge climactic fight between the two of them, and it doesn't happen.
But you still get a climactic fight at the end of them fighting everybody
Not really,
else.
because they both end up just dying pointlessly at the end of it. So it's like, but so at that end of that series, I was like, well, nothing happened. But if something pays off, I'm down.
It is one of the coolest. It is one of the coolest scenes to me in just Star Wars period. Is that Obi-Wan Darth Maul finale?
Does Rebels, has that ended or is it still ongoing?
Rebels is over.
It's over. Okay, so that's like a contained story then.
I think they want to make a new series to pick up where it leaves off, but Rebels is done. It's complete.
Okay, so Clone Wars is still going on. Rebels is done.
Yes, but you would watch Clone Wars up to a point, then watch Rebels, and then you come back to what's coming out on Disney Plus for Clone
what's
Wars.
coming out on Disney Plus is after Rebels?
It functionally should.
Well, no. It's that Clone Wars didn't get to finish. It got canceled. Rebels got made with Disney, and now I guess Dave Filoni has, like, given the right people a tug to be able to finish Clone Wars because there was a whole season to go.
Well, see, but I guess my question really comes in, and because obviously Ahsoka makes it to Rebels So I would hope that Clone Wars takes place afterwards, because I want to know what happens to Ahsoka's character, why she's like never really mentioned again, except for apparently obviously being dead and being a Force ghost in this movie.
I guess we'll have to watch season 7 and find out.
I mean, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, it is so she goes and I can't tell you what I do know from like reading a novel and just because of like other EU stuff that is still canon about like what happens after the Jedi Purge up until A New Hope. It's that the vast majority of Jedi, or even people who are Force sensitive, go into hiding.
Yeah.
And those that get found by the Empire either get killed by like Inquisitors or whoever, or they get captured and then they get corrupted and turned into Inquisitors as well, which are like not full Sith but are evil Force users. Right. So she went into hiding. Is the short of it.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, goes into hiding in the way that what is the dude from Fallen Order? What's his name?
Cal Kestis.
Yeah, Cal Kestis. So basically goes into hiding the way he does, like goes into hiding, but he's still like actually doing things on the side, right?
Yeah, like she is still doing stuff. Like she has a novel where like she still ends up helping people. Like she's trying to keep her head down and not make it clear that she's like a Force wielder or has a lightsaber or anything. Right. Actually, for a while, she doesn't even have lightsabers. She abandons them to like add to the cover up of her, being dead to anybody who tries to look for her.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Like so, she just ends up being a do-gooder though, because like that's the whole thing that happens to a lot of like Force sensitive people, that if they're not evil, they usually end up trying to help people out. Even though she's not Jedi anymore. Yeah.
Huh. Yeah. I just fairly find out, I guess it's just because, our character gets, the time that a lot of characters didn't get to grow on you. I really wish that she would appear in one of the movies. Like, getting to hear her voice at the end of The Rise of Skywalker is great. It's perfect. But, she kind of, she managed to become a well-known character for never even having to have appeared in one of the main movies, and that's something that you really don't get from a lot of the EU and anything like that. She's literally the most popular character to not be in one of the movies. Yeah,
absolutely.
So she's literally the reverse Harley Quinn. Harley Quinn started off in the animated series, got so popular, and got to get put in the comic books and stuff like that. And now she has a whole renaissance going on. That's kind of what Ahsoka is. She appeared in the TV show, became so popular. Now she really needs to be in the movies because she can carry a whole fucking trilogy by herself.
Unlike Harley Quinn, Ahsoka has gotten better, not worse.
Hey, I ain't touching that. I ain't touching anybody's Harley Quinn love. I always thought the character was cool.
I still like Harley Quinn. I don't like what they do with Harley Quinn now.
Oh yeah. Well, I don't like the romanticizing of her and Joker's relationship. Like people, that's stupid and it's horrible.
That's pretty gross to me.
Yeah.
Speaking of Harley Quinn, did you see Joker has a new love interest that just started in the comics?
No.
I think her name's what's her name? Hang on. I'm gonna Google it.
He's gonna Google that real quick.
Harley Jin.
But to kind of wrap up everything about Ahsoka, I will say I'm looking forward to Clone Wars Season 7 because I'm gonna try to blow through the rest of it so I can get there. Because like I really want to follow her story because she seems like such an interesting character, and the fact that she was, it seems like one of the things that Clone Wars tries to do is make it seem like she was really one of the last things besides Padme herself that was keeping Anakin sane. So it's kind of like, I really want to know more about that character.
I definitely wouldn't say, there's absolutely no need, as best as I can tell, to like watch Clone Wars, stop, watch Rebels, then go back to Season 7. As best as I can tell, I mean, for it not being out yet, of Clone Wars, then be absolutely fine. If you really want to know like more about her in particular, there's a novel that's named after her that fills that gap.
Yeah.
I'd also recommend there's probably a good watch guide on there to let you know which episodes
to actually watch. So did you beat Fallen Order or did you
I have not touched Fallen Order.
You haven't touched it. Did you beat it, Dan?
I sure did.
Alright, so Cal Kestis' character, because I've seen this clips and stuff like that, and they're showing he actually fights some Sith and stuff like that. Like, does his story actually have an impact on anything?
Not really. No. So his story is kind of cool and rewarding. Just if you like to get more of that in between the Jedi Purge and A New Hope, like what was going on kind of thing. I would say that the stakes that the story has are good.
Yeah.
Without being like, ooh, there's a power weapon that's going to blow up a planet. Like, instead, it's that there's this holocron that has a list and location of a bunch of like Force-sensitive kids out there. And the rationale behind that was that the person who was in possession of it was one of those people who would be a Jedi to go look for Force-sensitive kids, test them, examine them, and then bring them back to be part of the Order.
Yeah.
And that one of these was still out there, and that it's that Cal is trying to find it. And I think there's a thought towards maybe making a new Jedi Order by finding them.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I want to go into like spoilers for the end of that or not, but that's kind of the setup. Like, that's the stakes is, you know, and then there's the Inquisitors, who are the Sith-looking people who are also looking for that. They're aware that he's trying to seek that out. They want to beat him to it because for them, they could go find them and either kill them or recruit them to be evil or, you know, whatever they're going to do. So that's kind of the stakes there.
Okay, I was gonna say I don't really like because I do want to eventually play the game. I don't care about spoilers, but does he?
It doesn't change the status quo. I'll say that.
Yeah,
like, there's no status quo change behind the scenes. It's like, oh well, that explains this then. But
okay, is there any overrun with any of like existing characters in the Star Wars universe?
It makes reference to, well, you go to locations that you see in Clone Wars and Rebels, like you go to Dathomir. There's like the Night Sisters and the Night Brothers, and that's really rewarding if you've already seen like Clone Wars and Rebels. Like it's like if you're into that, you know, new EU of Clone Wars and Rebels, and you want more in that timeline, I'd say it's well worth it.
Yeah.
But I can't recommend it as a game. Like, it is buggy. The combat system doesn't really know whether it wants to be fun, quick hack and slash or more of a slow, methodical Dark Souls.
Yeah.
Because enemies come at you like you are way faster than you are.
Yeah.
And the time frames for doing a block or a parry can be wonky.
Very, yeah.
That's how I'd put it. Yeah. So it can be a little frustrating to play, but it was a lot of fun. I thought the world building was nice. Yeah, just more of that, but more games like that, please. But give them a little more time in the oven.
Well, I mean, but besides from the Battlefront games, it's probably still one of the best Star Wars games that have come out, though, right?
Oh yeah, it's been kind of a drought for Star Wars games. Like, there's tons of fucking mobile games, of course, and like there's been a couple of Lego Star Wars games, but like as soon as Disney got Star Wars, they shuttered the LucasArts studios, even the stuff they were working on, like
Rest in Peace 1313.
Yeah, F's in chat for Star Wars 1313.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, so we've had a couple of Battlefront games, which, you know, it seems like the Battlefront community is pretty disappointed by. I was never super big on the Battlefront games. I just didn't have online play at the time when they were new and big.
Yeah.
So I played them and like they were fun. It's very clear that the people who made them have like a passion for Star Wars. Like, they look and sound beautiful and it's fun to play, but like content is thoroughly lacking. And then
the whole pay to win system they had going on for a while.
Yeah, exactly,
Battlefront 2's come a long way since then.
Yeah, definitely.
Battlefront 2's got a lot of good free content. In there now.
Yeah.
It's not really a glowing endorsement to say, oh, well, the game is good 2 years after it originally came out.
I mean, to be fair, the game was good then. It's just had a bunch of EA shit where it's like, all right, you got to do the loot boxes, you got to do this.
I'm just saying, like, those are some pretty big caveats, though.
You're right. They are big caveats.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not anti-recommending them either. I'm not saying, oh, these games are dog shit. I know there are people in that camp. Like, I'd still be like, no, they're fun. They're well made, but those are still some complaints. It's worth saying, this is made by EA and all that implies.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, so it's been those 3 games and that's it.
All right. So the future of the Star Wars franchise. I feel like, you know, after Rise of Skywalker came out, people were kind of like, okay, well, it was definitely divided. Me and Jay, while we were like, we enjoyed it. I remember Pat, I remember you, Katie, I were just kind of like, yeah, that movie was fucking dumb. Like, it was... Yeah, but, you know, I feel like, you know, eventually Disney's not going to let it die. They already have a lot of projects in the work, which, by the way of The Mandalorian, I'm really looking forward to the shows they're going to do on Disney Plus, like the Obi-Wan show that's supposed to come out, I believe, at the end of this year.
Yeah.
I think I got that.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay, well, I mean, at least it'll come out like next year sometime. So I'm really looking forward to that because, yeah, Obi-Wan's, I mean, he's probably one of the best fucking characters in the whole franchise. He's the most interesting character just because of all the stuff he goes through. So I'm looking forward to that. There's supposed to be, there's supposed to be an HBO show?
No. It's going to be all on Disney Plus now.
All on Disney Plus now? Okay.
And then we know Mandalorian Season 2 is... they've already slated that for September, I think.
Yeah, because I'll say I only finished up to the second episode of Mandalorian so far. Shame on me. I know.
Keep going on that.
I know, but I will say, one thing I love about it is that, one, you're getting something completely, for the first time, like really for the mainstream audience, you're getting something detached from the Jedi. So you're getting to see like a completely different environment, a different character doing different things, and like getting to watch that character in the first episode, at least, it felt like almost like the Wild West, and it felt really cool.
Absolutely.
That whole different setting, and I can't wait to see where the show's going to go in the first season. I haven't finished it, and then where the show's going to go in the second season, because then jumping back and forth to like different things. In the second episode, I believe he goes to like what's it, an ice planet? No, that's the first episode. That was in the first episode at the beginning.
It's like a desert planet.
Yeah.
Like a mud ball kind of thing.
Yeah, the second episode is where he's fighting the fucking Jawas because they're being dicks and they stole all. They like took apart his ship. Yeah. So like the show is really cool. I think I can see.
Spoken.
You have spoken. I can see Ahsoka getting her own show probably.
I mean, it's possible.
Like especially if they did like a live action version of it.
I don't know if they'll ever do a live action version of her. Like,
you don't think so?
No, like I don't know. Like it's nice that it's its own thing.
They'd have to do a lot of practical effects on whatever actress was going to play her as well, and I don't think they'll bother.
I mean,
we'll see. Yeah,
but they made a Mandalorian suit.
But they made
That's
the
very
huge
different than Twi'lek tentacles being hung around your head and everything.
Yeah, they have Twi'leks in the original, in the prequels.
Yeah, but how long are they on screen?
They're on screen for a bit.
Not doing action shit.
I mean, Chewbacca.
Okay, yeah, but I don't know. One of the things that kind of made me think of a live action is that literally online, it's been trending for the past few days that people think that Rosario Dawson would make a great like grown up Ahsoka.
You were doing so well.
I know I was doing so well, and I just fucked up again.
So close.
Yeah, but Ahsoka, like, and I think Rosario Dawson would do a perfect like grown up Ahsoka. Like that's why I think like them doing that series. I fucking watch it.
I don't know if that's what they're gonna do with her because I think her story is getting close to pretty wrapped.
Yeah,
well, yeah, because I mean,
they kind of got her booked end to end for what she does for the most part.
Yeah, I know because her whole story is like literally intertwined with Anakin, but I mean, that's where it kind of goes into that weird place because it's like you obviously know she doesn't make it to do anything of significance against Anakin because I mean Luke takes care of all that. But does she die? Does she just literally just give up? Does she start doing stuff on the back end?
Terrence, you're gonna have to find out.
I know, and I want to know now.
I know. I think my thing with Star Wars and what I'm excited about for going forward, and it's kind of what we're getting out of Mandalorian, and what I wanted out of the new trilogy, which we didn't get, which was I want new Star Wars. I want more new things in Star Wars.
Yeah,
the the prequel, the sequel trilogies felt like more Star Wars.
Yeah,
but the same Star Wars versus Mandalorian feels like new Star Wars. Like it's stuff we're not used to seeing. The Clone Wars it's cool, but it's been filling in. I want branch out new places,
different places, different characters.
Even just if we're talking mainline movies,
so if you got,
that's what I'm excited is. It's gotta be new at this point because if it's more instead of new, I don't know what possibly more it could be at this point.
Okay, so if you got a fantasy booking of whatever, you get to either take a character, you get to take either a setting, a race, or something like that, and you got to make a show about it just because you're more interested in what it is.
That's it. I want to be surprised. There's nothing I want more than to get something good that I didn't know I wanted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree with Pat.
See, I think a lot of it, for me, like, hearing the story of like Darth Revan and stuff like that, and knowing that that before they just put it out for Xbox, that trying to get KOTOR was a pain in the ass. I feel like it would really benefit from like having a show or something like that, or something that just makes it more easily consumable.
Part of the issue there again is like it's awesome that it's Star Wars, but KOTOR feels so disconnected from Star Wars that you could remove the name, but you could remove the name Star Wars, and you just be like, oh, this is like Star Wars, like
But that's kind of like what Mandalorian is, though. Mandalorian's very disconnected from it in a way where it's just like it's like he's a Mandalorian.
Mandalorian still feels very much like Star Wars to me, not just totally.
I think it feels Star Wars in the way that it's like, oh, look, there's Jawas, and oh, look, here's somebody from Yoda's race, and I think it's connected through that. But otherwise, like tone, it feels so different. It feels fun when you're watching it.
But that's the issue with something like Clone Wars. It's more than tone. It being 3,000 years separated. Like the things it has in common with Star Wars are words, like the language usage of Jedi and Force and all that. Yeah. But everything else about it is pretty different, which is why it stood out. You had an expanded universe full of Star Wars that was similar but connected. Yeah. And this was something different and disconnected. And now we have so much there's an absence of space now in the Star Wars extended universe that's getting filled in, but fill it in more, but fill it in at the edges instead of in between things we've seen. Like, Mandalorian obviously takes place in between things we've seen, but it's touching things. We have no idea what Baby Yoda. We have no idea what happens to that. It's going to be cool to see what happens to that. It's new.
Yeah. Yeah. So like, literally Fallen Order stuff then. Because Fallen Order is kind of really disconnected in a way. Or are you talking...
Fallen Order to me is filling in. Like Dan was saying, like, it connects to things that we know from Clone Wars and stuff. Right. And it's a nice, cool story especially for a video game, but that's still filling in. That's not happening at the edge of something. That's happening supremely in something we know.
A story that just is disconnected from the main story. Everything that's been happening.
Like, all the wars. You're talking about a galaxy, and we've had 9 movies that are very focused.
Yeah. Okay. Right. No, I get that. I mean, I think it'd be cool to show, but again, like, unless you execute it perfectly, kind of like The Mandalorian is, otherwise it's just a show. That's why, like, some of the Star Trek.
I think Mandalorian's really good, but all in all, it's very much just a show. Like, it's just cool like, that show, it's like you were saying, cool Star Wars. Like, that's what that show is, but it doesn't feel like there's nothing you really look at and go, well, that was stupid. And the fact that it's like that, like, is what elevates it above what we have from Star Wars in recent memory. Yeah. Is there's so much, while it's cool in current Star Wars, you also have equal, like, I have enough stuff in the other hand to go, well, that was stupid and that was stupid. Like, there's so many negatives and positives when Mandalorian has been mostly positive.
Right.
Agreed.
Yeah. Jay?
I like Star Wars.
Is there anything that you would like to see from them in the future? Like, any, like, maybe either something recreated, you want to see something new, do you want a character story expanded upon, or
character story? I mean, not really. Like, I agree with them. I'd like to see something new. I mean, there's some things that I think would be kind of cool if they went more detailed into. Yeah. Like, if they actually did more with, like, the Jedi stuff, like the actual, like, original order, like, back in the day, why they aligned with the Republic in the first place, like, something like that would be kind of
that is KOTOR.
I mean, there you go. Like, it's just kind of one of those things where it's like, all right, well, like, we get they're the good guys, we get they're, like, the monks of this universe, they take care of people, but at the same time, it's like they also have a huge power base, like, they're working with the government. Like, that seems kind of opposed to someone, a group, an order,
religious order.
Like that's not, like, those two things don't go hand in hand unless it's super corrupt.
Right. You should play Clone Wars. Not Clone Wars, KOTOR, because that is, I mean, that is straight up, like, Revan's whole thing. The Jedi don't want to intervene with the government, and, like, the Republic's at war with the Mandalorians.
And that comes up in the Clone Wars too. Like, there's times where there are characters who are Jedi, who are aligned with the Jedi, who are like, why aren't we helping these people? We clearly could. And they go, well, the Republic wouldn't like it. And you can tell that character wants to say, fuck the Republic, I'm supposed to help people.
Yeah.
But see, with the Jedi, because I mean, I'm very unclear on like how the Force really works and stuff. But I know like literally
space magic.
I know it's space magic, but that space magic keeps you pretty much on a line of good and evil.
But that's actually to go into that a little bit to kind of expand on, because you didn't see was it Rogue One?
Right.
They have was it Donnie Yen?
Yeah.
Yeah, Donnie Yen's character uses the Force too, but in a completely different way.
Uses the Force might be a strong word.
Well, okay,
he's sensitive to the Force.
He's sensitive to the Force, and
whatever that means. Yeah.
But like
I agree with you. It adds back a mystical religious element.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how different people use the Force. Like, say, you know, alien race number 7 shows up, and they're like, "Oh, we could build fucking ancient Egypt now. We don't really know how fucking we built these pyramids and shit, but for some reason we can use the Force." Like, it'd be kind of cool to see how
different people
interpret it / how they use it.
Right.
Like,
have I told you about the Night Sisters?
I mean,
yeah. Well, I mean, I feel like with the Force though, it really comes into that whole like, and they keep trying to drill it into your head in The Rise of Skywalker, because he keeps telling her, "Oh, you should kill me. You should kill me now," because it's like, oh, but if she kills him in this moment, she'll turn Sith. I don't understand.
Possess her.
Well, yeah, but it's just so weird that doing certain things, just like, I guess just because you have anger in your heart, is like, oh, you're a Sith now.
Well,
and it's
they've been doing that since the fucking original trilogy.
I know. And
strike him down and become more powerful than you ever
imagined.
Yeah,
and that's what I understand. They've been doing it since the beginning, but I don't get it. Like, what's the difference between killing somebody in anger at one moment and then killing them in anger in another moment? That one of them's
now you're just in a moral discussion at that point.
But that's just kind of the thing. I just don't get it.
This is definitely not the topic to wrap things up.
That's hour 3 you're starting at that point.
All right. Well, we've pretty much covered most anything. Is anything else?
Hold on, before we move on. Her name is Punchline.
Oh my god.
Really?
Yeah, the
Joker's girl.
Everybody watching will think the same damn thing.
So Joker's new love interest, her name is Punchline. I just wanted to pull that out, and here's a picture of her.
Is she Asian?
Yeah, she looks very Asian.
Random.
I know. I'll send it to you, Dan. And
well, on that note,
yeah,
I think we've pretty much covered everything we wanted to talk about. Is there any other topics anybody wanted to go into?
I really like Stardew Valley.
Okay, and Dan, was there anything else you wanted to talk about?
Ahsoka is my wife. We are happily married. I will take care of her for forever.
You better cherish her. And Pat, is there anything else that you would like to discuss?
I hope we get more good Star Wars video games, because
amen. It
has been a long, long time, and I'm glad we got Fallen Order, but even that got rushed to meet the release of Rise of the Skywalker.
Yeah.
And like, that game was so, like, it's a good game. It could have been great.
Yeah.
And I think we are just
I think we're on the cusp of a new dawning in Star Wars.
I can't go that far. I will say we will get Star Wars, good and bad. We will get Star Wars.
I'm gonna say, whether you like it or not.
Death, taxes, and Star Wars.
Exactly. Yeah.
Hey, well, amen to that. Hey, so thank you so much for watching this video. We hope that if you have any diverging opinions from anything we've said, put it down in the comments. You can hit all of us up on our socials. You can hit me up at TrippyHaps on Twitter. You can hit Jay up at
The Anime Jay.
You can hit Pat up. If you're ever even on socials, you can hit him up at
The Frizzly Bear. I'm on there all the time.
Oh yeah, okay. And then you can hit Dan up at
Rare Behemoth.
So hit us up. Let us know what you thought of the discussion in the comment section below. Let us know if you want more Star Wars content or anything like that. We'll be happy to cover anything. If you think there's a piece of Star Wars media that we should consume that maybe might give us some interest in anything we're talking about, shoot it at us. Let us know.
No.
But otherwise, open up the floodgates.
I'm about to say, issue 8 of Vader explains this.
Yeah, please none of that. I don't care.
Send it all to Frizzly Bear. At the Red Frizzly Bear.
Yeah, I'll get it to the right people.
He will get it to the right people.
The real Frizzly Bear at gmail.com.net.
Exactly.
.jp.
Exactly. At geocities.com. Now, all right. So if you enjoyed it, let us know. Give us a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give us a thumbs down. It will make me cry because I watch the algorithms, but that's beside the point. Thank you for watching. Have a great day.
Is Star Wars porn canon?
No!